How's everybody doing?
Fine, how are you?
I'm awesome. Awesome.
Doing
Um, I'm sorry, say that again, Anik.
doing good.
That is fantastic. I am happy to hear it. I'm happy to hear it. Happy to see that you guys made it on. First of all, I need to apologize. My face looks super greasy. I need to apologize because I had this whole theatrics set up and somehow it didn't transfer from my laptop to my desktop. So I'm gonna have to kind of thug it out this way. But nonetheless, I do have a packed day planned out for you guys, not just today, but also over the course of the next 3 days. Just to kind of give you guys an outline on what we'll be doing. Basically, we have so today. Well, let me ask you guys this first: is anyone here who does not already have an LLC, or do you guys already have your LLC set up already? Your
Yes.
EIN, Dunn and Bradstreet number, all those things. Does anyone not have a Dun and Bradstreet number?
Waiting
I
for
don't
the
have,
EIN.
Said it again, Ethan.
Waiting for the EIN.
EIN, gotcha. Okay. Have you already done it yet though?
Yes, I have my LLC and basically waiting for the EIN.
Okay, gotcha. So the reason that I ask is because my plan today. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I didn't see you. Sorry.
I don't have my Dun and Bradstreet number. I applied for it and they rejected me for some reason.
Did they? You don't know why they rejected you?
I don't remember. Let me.
Okay. So the reason that I asked you guys that question is because the outline of what I plan to do is pretty much we're gonna start at the bottom, right? Well, so we were gonna start at the bottom today, meaning that we'll start with structuring your LLC. We'll go from that. We'll look at register agents. We'll look at domain names. We'll look at pretty much all of the basics. Do you guys have a clue why I want to start there? Does anyone know?
To make sure that we didn't forget anything.
Absolutely. You know why? Because what happens a lot of times is that that's really the thing that people forget the most. Because it almost seems so simple that you shouldn't forget it, but it really is the thing that people forget the most often. So, but my plan was today start there and work through that process. I do want to open up for Q&A. I know a couple of you guys, and there's also some people who are not on right now, but submitted questions in advance. So I definitely want to attack those first. But I really want to go through the process of at least showing you guys what it should look like. So even if you have it, you may see something that you did wrong, or you may have a question about something that you weren't really sure about when you did it, and I can actually answer the question for you, and then that way you're on the right path. So I'll tell you guys full transparency. The other day, like I'm a member of Navy Federal, right? My personal account, and I have a business account with them. So I have probably on a personal side, I have about $80,000 worth of personal credit with them. So if you guys are familiar with credit, you know, like personal credit is a lot more difficult to get than business credit. However, what I mean by that is like the high limits, but I'm able to have $80,000 limit with them. So I just opened up a new business with Navy Federal, and I already knew like I'm gonna get approved for this credit card. You know, they just did a credit limit increase on 3 of my personal cards. I know I'm about to get approved. They denied me. I was offended. I was offended because I have good credit. Like there's no reason I should have gotten denied. But what happens is my so my business is registered to 2 different addresses. So because of that, when they look your business up, they'll look and see where your business is registered at. So they look at the Secretary of State site, and they also look at like the presence that you have online. So I know that. I teach people that every day, but I still made that mistake. So I really just kind of wanted to make sure that we go through that process to at least look. And so that way we're on the same page. Do any of you guys have any questions about what you've already set up? Do you think you set everything up correctly?
Well, I guess start out and we'll find out any second
Awesome.
if we made any mistakes.
That works. That works. So, Anik, what about you?
I just looked it up and I did get an email back from Dunn and Bradstreet. They said they were unable to create a Dunn's number for me due to missing information. They weren't
Hmm.
specific. They just said you may be missing key information about your business. Make sure that you have your business name, physical address, email, SIC code, which I don't know what the SIC code would be for what I do.
So what do you do?
I do inspections,
I remember that. Okay.
like all sorts of inspections though, like commercial inspections and insurance inspections.
Yeah. So the thing with those SIT codes is like, even so I have I have a commercial business as well, not a commercial, but a construction business. And with my construction business, I don't know if you know it, but some businesses, they look at them as being less fundable just because of like those codes. So one thing, and I'm not telling you to do it, I do recommend people do it, but one thing that a lot of people have done and found success in is, even with those like the NAICS codes, changing them from really what their industry is and putting them as a consulting code. And
Okay.
the reason is because a consulting business is not difficult to fund. A lot of consultant businesses, they're actually able to get larger amounts than something like a construction business, for example. So that's a hack that a lot of people utilize. And I mean, it makes sense, but a lot of people use that as a way to kind of get more funding for their business, because even though you're an inspector, you're doing inspections, I mean, that still doesn't stop you from registering your business as a consulting business, right? So that's just something that I've done it. A lot of people that I know does it, and it's been something that we've actually been really successful at getting access to larger limits of credit doing that as well. So, but I also, so my goal in this thing too, you guys, is I don't want to waste a lot of time, right? So I don't want to walk you through a process that you don't feel you need. That was the reason why I'm asking about where you guys currently are. But just to give you guys the layout, that was my plan today. Go you through the basics. Tomorrow, we will actually look at the credit side of it, meaning the personal credit, business credit. But in order to get those things, you got to already be properly structured. So that was the reason why today I wanted to go through that process. And then my plan on the third day is to have the taxes, right? So tomorrow will be accounting and also credit. And then the third day will be taxes, the tax strategies and the things like that that you can utilize to actually save you money. Because a lot of us can make money, but if you got to pay all of it to the government, then it's pointless almost, right? So does anyone want to kind of briefly go through the overview process? Actually, I'm going to do that anyway, just so that way I know we're all good on the same page. So I have some slides that I want to show you guys. And
Josh,
yes, sir.
just based on what you said that Anik shouldn't be, how to say, using the SIC code for inspections, but rather for consulting. Basically, I'm looking into real estate investments. Based on what you just said, what would you recommend for me to use? Would you rather say real estate investments or something that is a bit more pushy in terms of SIC code?
That's a great question. And I'm really glad you asked it, because I was in that specific situation.
Mm-hmm.
What I did was I put, my business was we started as a wholesaling business, and I registered as a real estate business. I could not get any funding. And the reason is because real estate in itself is looked at as a high risk industry. So if you notice, a lot of investors and people that does real estate, they get non-traditional funding for the most part. So I would recommend with you as well that you definitely don't put anything about real estate in the name, but you also need to look at doing it as a consulting business. What do you think about that?
That makes sense, but based on what you just said, I mean, I founded the company with real estate in the name. So I guess if I would now say it's a consulting business, then I would have to change at least the name of my LLC, I guess.
Absolutely. Yeah, so, and what I'll do too is I'll send you guys a list of like like the high risk LLCs. So that ways you guys can actually see it for yourself, what those high risk LLCs are. And you'll have a better understanding of how to navigate that. That was one of the things that I attempted to do, but I had the technical issues this morning. So I wasn't able to do that. Some people are actually joining us from a group as well. So I'm trying to monitor that also. So I get those people included also, but I'll send you guys that list too. So that way you have that list so you can see what it is. Does anyone else have any questions? And thanks for asking that question. Let me ask you this. Is it Eton? Is that how you say your name?
Eton.
Eton.
Yes.
All right.
Based on your bad experiences, what did you come up with in the end?
As far as the real estate investing part of it?
Naming and choice of SIC.
So what I would recommend is you do something that is like nowhere near what you're doing, like something as generic as possible. For example, like me, I would do Joshua Earl, consulting, or just Joshua Earl enterprises. And the reason is because that name doesn't really say what I do. You know what I mean? It actually just says it's a business basically. So the more niche down that your business name is, a lot of times the more difficult it is to get the funding, because you're saying exactly what you're going to do. And real estate is such a high risk industry, because when you lose, a lot of times in real estate, you lose pretty big. And so banks, they tend not to want to fund because of that. What type of investing do you do? Is it like wholesaling, or what kind of stuff do you do?
Fix and flip.
Fix and flip. Which areas do you do that in?
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. Okay. Yeah. So do you have a so what's your flip? So is your LLC registered in Pennsylvania as well?
No, just Wyoming.
My man. Good deal. Good deal. So do you have multiple LLCs, or do you just have that one that's registered?
I'm just starting out.
Okay. So even in your situation, really in any situation, what's best to do is have your LLC that you're operating out of, but you also want to have like a holding company as well. And the reason why I say that is because now let's say your business is really successful, and you, or someone working for you, contractor, whatever it is, they go out here and get in trouble. This very successful business that you've sacrificed so much to build is going to be attacked, because it's holding all your assets, it's holding all your money, it's holding everything. And you're going to lose everything that you worked so hard to build. You see what I'm saying? So it's great that you already started out in Wyoming. That's beautiful. Most people don't understand to do that. So it's beautiful that you've done that. But you just want to take it a step further and just add more anonymity by creating another structure to actually manage that structure. And, I don't know your financial situation, but if you're in a position to where you're making, or when you get there, if you're not there already, where you're making a lot of money, you want to look at opening up trusts, like I said, holding companies. You want to look at going from an LLC to being taxed as an S corp, and see, we'll cover all of that stuff throughout this process. We'll cover all that throughout this process.
Okay, without wanting to, get too much off track, you said building a holding company. How would I go about that? Just in 1-2 sentences, just for me to understand. If I would also go to the state secretary of, like, let's say, Wyoming, and how would I register it?
Yeah, so basically it's the same way that you did your LLC in a nutshell. Okay. It's a little more complex than that, but it's the same way you did your LLC. And one of the things about doing it that way, like I said, it's already good how you've already started in Wyoming, right? Because what happens is it makes it a little more difficult for someone to find you if they need to. So it's good that you already done that, but just, it's nothing I would worry about doing right now, but as time goes on, that's definitely something that you want to look at doing to make sure that you're able to sustain that business if anything happens.
Okay, understood. Thank you.
So, Anik, what about you?
In regards to,
Your LLC, is it registered in your state?
yes,
Is it what address did you use?
I used virtual office.
Good deal, good deal. Okay.
I got a virtual office, and I use that address.
Okay, all right, that's good. That's good. All right. So I'm gonna and like I said, and two guys, you know, it's interactive, all right. So I don't want to hey Joda, your microphone. You want Jody, did you want to say something? My bad, y'all. All right. Yeah, so this is interactive. Okay. So I don't want to just lecture. I can do that. It's no problem. You guys paid to be here. So I'm happy to just sit here and talk. But really, my goal in doing this is I want it to be as valuable as possible. Like I don't want anybody to walk away and say, man, that was a waste of my time. It was a waste of my money. So my point in telling you that is I can go however fast or slow you want me to go. All right. And so I guess I sent it in the email too, but some of you may or may not have gotten it. But my goal is to stop at 2:00. But is anyone opposed to going a little bit longer if necessary? No? Okay. And those of you with your cameras off is no problem. That's fine. But if you but feel free to jump in anytime that you deem necessary. All right. And so here's the reason why I asked about your time limit, because I want to respect it. Right. I said we'll start at 11 and we'll end at 2 Eastern Standard Time. But initially I was not, excuse me, y'all. Initially, I wasn't going to bring anyone on other than myself, because all of the topics that I put out there that I was going to teach, I'm proficient at teaching them all. I know how to teach every piece of it because I've actively done it, right? But I was thinking to myself, and I said, well, I have so many successful friends who they actually do that thing. And because they do that thing, maybe it's not a bad idea for me to actually have them hop on and cover some of that stuff themselves. So what I'll do is like my friend Steve, for example, Steve and Kisan, both of them will be here tomorrow, and they'll be covering parts of what they do. Kisan does credit repair, and he also does he teaches business credit, personal credit, credit repair, and Steve does accounting. He also has a cannabis business, and they both had like a rental car business as well. So there's a plan for it, but like I said, I don't want anyone to walk away and feel as though they didn't get value. So if I'm spending too much time on something, I won't be offended. Let me know. And as long as the group can agree that it's okay to move on, then we'll move on. I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I tend to do that sometimes because in group settings, sometimes people don't feel comfortable and confident to say, hey, I don't understand. You know what I'm saying? So feel free to stop me and ask a question. We're all going to respect everybody's opinions and everyone's time process and how they learn. I have time. So I know I said 2, but we can go a little bit longer. So today there's no one else joining, but that was because, like I said at the beginning, I wanted to kind of walk us through that process. So I'll and be patient with me, you guys, because man, I had some stuff with my slides that didn't transfer over. So last minute I had to try and take some other slides and do some other things. So all right, 1 second. Can you guys see that? Awesome. Awesome. Good deal. Good deal. So it's a lot of information. And if anybody is interested in getting a slide deck, if you will just comment me, then I'll send you the slide deck. Also, I'll say, I'll try to do my best to watch the chat. So if I'm saying something or covering something that you guys have a question about, if I'm doing a good job, drop some fire emojis. If I'm just being trash and not doing a good job, like, let me know it. Because you guys, listen, I don't know where anyone is in business. I don't know where anyone's understanding is. I just don't know. You know what I mean? And so I want to provide you guys value. That's my number one goal. Okay. And so I can't do it if you don't tell me what I'm doing right and what I'm doing wrong. If my wife was on the other end of this, I promise you, she would not have a problem to tell me what I was doing wrong. She might not tell me what I was doing right, but she'll tell me what I was doing wrong for sure. All right, let's get into it, y'all. All right, so welcome to the Break the Bank Masterclass. The reason why I chose the name Break the Bank is because I don't know if you guys know it or not, but you can literally break the bank, not literally, but you can go in the bank and get a lot of money. And they're happy to give it to you depending on the banks that you're going to, because some of these banks, they're not like the Chase, obviously, right? They're a big bank. But you have a lot of local banks that they have all this money that they need to be given out. But the problem is that no one in that community is actually coming to those banks. So if no one in the community comes to the banks to get the loans, the money just sits there. And so a lot of, like, even Walmart, for example, I used to manage Walmart stores. I don't know if you guys know it, but they do grants. So you could also go to Walmart and try to get money from Walmart. Now, here's what's amazing. If you live in a town where Walmart is at, and you know, for example, there's not a big like entrepreneurial presence in your town, companies like Walmart have so much money to give you. But if you don't know to go talk to them, if you don't know to go apply online, like if you don't know about that stuff, you just won't do it. If they don't give you the money, then what happens is that money gets lost. So they don't get the same money next year. It's the same with schools as well. I know a lot of times we think schools don't have money, but they have money for certain things. And if they don't use it, they lose it. So I just wanted to show you that. And if any of you guys are interested in that information, it's not a part of the class, but what I'll do is I can send you the link. I have to find it, but I can look it up and send you the link for the Walmart specific grant, because again, I know about that one. But yeah, so, and if it's something that I don't cover, but you guys got a question, just ask. All right, ask. All right, so yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and start. The next slide was supposed to be an introductory to who I am. And just to let you guys know, my name is Josh Earl. That's my government name. My mom gave me that name. My dad gave me that name. Since the slide's not here, I'll just kind of freestyle it. So like I mentioned to you guys earlier, I did manage Walmart stores. That was the last job that I had before really jumping into entrepreneurship full throttle. So to kind of give you guys a brief history of who I am and why I'm standing in front of you today, trying to teach you guys about breaking a bank, I just want to share with you guys a little bit about myself. Okay, so I moved from North Carolina to Atlanta in 2007. That shocked me. I had no clue I'd been here that long. So I moved from North Carolina to Atlanta in 2007. If you guys follow me on social media, maybe you guys have seen a video I did about my mom. I'm gonna try my best not to cry, but when I moved here, my plan to move here was pretty much destroyed because I had a plan to use money that I got from taxes. I know that sounds familiar. Use tax money to move from North Carolina to Atlanta. And I couldn't use it because the person that let me carry their dependent or their child allowed someone else to carry their dependent. It's some ghetto stuff, y'all. I'm from that, okay? I'm from it. So I didn't take care of the child at all, right? But I was gonna pay her from the tax refund to carry the child. So she did me dirty and she let myself and someone else carry the child. So I got audited by the IRS and I didn't get any money. That sucked. But before that, what happened was all the money I had saved got stolen from me. So someone broke into my house. They stole my money. I had some firearms. They stole that. Like, so I had nothing really. And my mom's one of my best friends. I was talking to my mom and I was just telling her like, man, it sucks. Like I had this plan to move and I can't now because I don't have any money. And the reason why it's important for you guys to know that is because where I'm from is a great place, but it's not a whole lot of opportunity there. And the person that you're looking at today is completely different from the person that you would have been looking at had I not moved down here. So sometimes changing your environment is really all you need to be introduced to different things and really level up your life. So fast forward, I moved. My mom gave me $1,000. I had no job. I had no plan. I had really nothing. I just was going to go look for a job every day. That was the plan. I moved to Atlanta. I found a roommate online. It was a girl. It was not my girlfriend. I didn't know her before that. Great person though. So I came here. Every single day I went to find a job. So I actually found a job. I was making $10 per hour as an assistant manager. I had to drive like an hour to work through downtown Atlanta, the worst traffic in the world. I did that job and I ended up leaving from there, and I went to another company that was a retail company. So I'm gonna fast forward. I was in retail management for a long time. I left there and I went to Walmart. Started at Walmart. I got promoted 2 or 3 different times in a couple of years. I was really, really good at what I did. I had about 400 associates. One day, my asset protection manager came to me and said, hey, we need to talk to you in the automotive office. Cool, no problem. I haven't done anything, right? So I go, come to find out, they tried to accuse me of stealing a bottle of water. And because they accused me of stealing a bottle of water, I got fired. So just to put this into perspective, I was making $67,000 a year. I was working probably 80 hours a week, at least. I have a wife, I have 3 children, and the only source of income I had was just taken away from me. I got fired for stealing a bottle of water. The bottle of water was free, okay, because we give those bottles of waters out to our truck unloaders. But what happened was it was an issue between me and my manager, and so that was what they used to fire me. All right, and so fast forward again, I got they wanted to rehire me, but I was just tired of dealing with that type of stuff at that company and other companies, so I decided to bet on myself, right? Betting on myself is what allowed me to struggle, and I was in hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of debt with no job. That was the reason why I got into debt, because I started a business and I did not know what I was doing. I had no clue. I used all of my personal credit to buy business stuff, not knowing that there's a such thing as business credit. And so, make a long story short, I was in a lot of debt. I didn't know what to do. I had no idea that I was going to be able to get out of it, but it worked out. I was able to start doing handyman work. I knew nothing about handyman work, but I figured it out. And because I understand business, I was able to grow that handyman side job and make about $14,000 in 1 month. When I did that, I realized my earning potential was unlimited. So what I did was just kept grinding it out. And I actually took that opportunity to turn that handyman business into a full-fledged company, because I really, at that point, understood business. And I started to learn about entrepreneurship. So I learned business credit. I learned how to properly structure my LLC, and I took that business to $1.2 million within a year, right? So going from not having anything, having a job, losing it, then going into about $200,000 worth of debt, and then now being able to build a business to make $1.2 million in the first year, that for me was really amazing. And so the things that I utilize to grow my business is the same things I use to teach my clients on how to start, grow, and scale their own businesses. So I'm telling you guys that so that you know the person that's sitting in front of you today, I'm not just telling you something that I saw on YouTube or on TikTok or Instagram or Facebook. I'm telling you guys what I've experienced, what I've done, and what I know. All right. So to get into it, I want to give you guys some quotes. So success is built on a strong foundation. When we think about our businesses, this is the reason why I'm asking you guys about your LLC and the structuring. And I know we had a few people that got on after I started, and I got people waiting now as well. But my plan was to go through the LLCs and that everyone has, or at least to go through the process to show you guys what that process should look like, so that you can see if you've made any errors along that way. And if so, we can try to fix it. So the foundation of anything really has to be solid in order for anything to grow, right? So the quotes that I have here are quotes from myself as well as from Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln's quote is so powerful to me because it says, give me 6 hours to chop down a tree. I will spend the first 4 sharpening the axe. That's strong to me, y'all. The reason why that's so powerful is because a lot of times what we do is we just jump right into something. We just go and try to chop down a tree. We don't take the time to actually sharpen the axe. But if you're chopping a tree with a dull axe, you're wasting so much time, so much energy. You're going to be stressed out. And then what are you going to do? You're going to quit. The reason why that's so important is because business is literally the same exact way. If you've already started a business and quit it, and now you're doing a different business, would you raise your hand or comment in the chat to let me know that you know what I'm talking about? Unless I'm the only person that start and stop stuff. Y'all gonna make me feel like I'm the only one that do it. Yeah, I know it ain't just me, man. I know it ain't just me. I know that for a fact. But it's all good because we're here. You guys are learning. I'm still learning, and we're going to continue to learn, and we're going to grow. And my goal is that we can do it together. So again, I really want to provide value to you guys. Somebody got something to say? Anika, was that you? It's all good.
Sorry.
Them eyes got big, girl. No, it's okay. It's all good. I promise. It's all good. I'll mute you. Don't worry. All right. So the second quote is, your business success story is written with the ink of a well-crafted strategy, and its opening chapter is a foundation of accurate data and informed decisions. So let me ask you guys a question. If you have a business plan, if you started a business plan before starting your business, would you raise your hand? Or say me, or comment in the chat? You know what? I love the honesty. I love the honesty from you ladies. Okay, Anika says she did. Not Anika, I know you didn't, but we have a Anika who is close to your name. Eaton said that he did as well. I didn't do that initially. Because I didn't do that, I really feel like that's one of the things that caused me to fail, right? It's almost like I was explaining earlier. We're going to chop down the tree, and we hadn't even sharpened the axe. So if any of you guys want an idea how to do a business plan, let me know, and I'll provide a resource for you to help you guys with that as well. So, all right, so let's get into it again, my guy. All right. Sorry, y'all. Got stuff everywhere. Here we go. Okay. And if anything starts to look weird to you guys, let me know and I can make an adjustment to it. All right, so I wanted to show you guys about the amount of new businesses that are started each year. There's a reason, because it ties into what I was just saying. A lot of times we'll start something and then we'll stop it, and then we'll start something else and then we'll stop it, right? So what happens is, when we don't properly plan for our business or start our foundation correctly, then we find ourselves in a repetitive situation of constant failure, because we're starting a business and then we're stopping one, and then we're starting one, and then we're stopping one. So it says, according to the data available up until September 2021, in the United States of America, there were about tens of thousands of new businesses that were actually applied for each day. Think about that, tens of thousands of new businesses every single day. So according to the U.S. business formation statistic, the number of business applications that were filed in 2022 was about 5.7 million. That has fallen since the year of 2018. So then, apart from the fall in 2022 of new business applications, and between that going to the rise over the year of, from the new business applications filing has generally been rising over the past decade. And in 2012, the number of new business applications that was filed was 2.58 million. So fast forward 5 years to 2017, and that figure increased by 24.1% to 3.2 million. So that's so interesting, because when you look at the next verse, the next line, it says, these new business statistics show that the largest growth over the past decade came in 2020. When the total number of applications grew by 24.6% to 4.38 million. Does anyone have a clue why that may have taken place in 2020? Does anyone know? Does anyone want to try to guess?
Corona.
Somebody got to try to guess. Somebody know. Just give me a guess. Somebody help me out. COVID. Yep. COVID. So you guys are right. I see Jodan said COVID. Someone else said COVID. Why do you guys think COVID made so many people start a new business?
Not being able to go out under quarantine and basically establishing home businesses.
Yeah, that's part of it. But think about another reason why so many people started businesses when COVID came.
Because so many people lost their jobs.
That's a huge part of it. Tina is exactly right. So many people lost their jobs. Now, no one said the answer I was looking for. So let's try one more.
People were getting paid unemployment, or they were getting paid to be at home. They were receiving money anyway. Yeah, so
you're right. Honestly, all of y'all are right. Does anyone know have you guys ever heard of the PPP loan? When were they giving out the PPP loan? Y'all know?
During the pandemic?
Yeah. Yeah. We know some people got some PPP money and they really didn't have, I know some people personally, and they didn't have a business, which ain't none of my business, but a lot of people started to try and build businesses, or at least make it look like they're building a business, because the government was giving out so much money. Ethan, you said you didn't know about the PPP, right?
Yes, because I'm not from the US.
Yeah, I know you're in Canada, I believe, right? Or where are you at?
Israel.
Israel. Okay, that's right. You're in Israel. My bad. Sorry. So you don't know about the PPP loan, but let me tell you, in America, the PPP loan, what they were doing was, I have a friend, for example, who he got about $20,000 given to his business that was forgiven. He never had to pay it back. Now, at that time, I needed $20,000 to be given my business. But you know what happened? My business was not structured properly. My business wasn't set up correctly. So because it wasn't set up correctly, guess how much money I got? Zero. Zilch. Nada. So why do y'all think that now I preach about structure? We don't know what's going to happen. Ethan, you want $20,000 of free money?
Be my guest.
I'm telling you, I want it, man. I need it. So I learned a very, very valuable lesson. I believe that lesson cost me at least $20,000. I know friends of mine who didn't have any business. They got approved because there were people that were able to structure things to make it look like they were legitimately in business. But I have a friend too who I didn't see for a long time, and I was wondering, like, where's he at? Because I used to always see him posting on Facebook, and he had some money. I never see him anymore. Y'all know where he at? That man is in jail. That man is locked away in jail. It blew my mind. So I'm thankful that I didn't. My mom actually was like, Josh, don't you mess with that. I was like, Mom, I need that 20K. I need it. I need it. But she said, don't mess with it. So I listened to her and I didn't mess with it. But anyway, so that's why structuring is so important. That's why so many people start businesses, because like I said earlier, if we're not sharpening our axe, but we're just trying to chop the tree, we're going to get frustrated in our business and we'll quit. But then when something like the pandemic happens, so many people try to scramble to start a business so that they can get the funding that the government is giving out. Right now, there's another thing that's similar to PPP loan, which is the ERC credits. And so people are now, you're going to see every time this kind of program comes out, there's going to be an uptick in people applying for businesses. So my point for you guys is let's just make sure that we're already properly structured. So when something like that does happen, we're able to take advantage of it instead of trying to scramble around and, last minute do that. And then we get caught up in some stuff we don't want to be caught up in. So, all right, next slide. So this is just kind of showing you guys how the uptick in businesses that were started. And then now, I know y'all can't see because my big head in the way. And then now there's a downtick in it, right? So why do y'all think there's a downtick? It increased in 2020, then it dropped drastically in 2021. 2022, it started to drop down. And then 2023, I don't know where it's at, but I can imagine that it's going to be at least to where it was or lower. Does anyone have an idea why that is? Anybody know? Or want to give a guess? Nobody want to guess? I'll tell you then, don't worry. The reason is because a lot of the money that was floating around so freely is not floating around so freely anymore, right? So My bad. Let me back up. So again, it's just going about the percentages of businesses and why they fail, right? So again, I want to remind you guys, there's a point to this, because what happens a lot of times is that we get information, we may or may not implement the information. If we start trying, when things get difficult, we quit. So you guys are paid to be a part of this this masterclass, and I don't want you guys to lose out on money because of a mindset situation. Because really, that's what it is. We start something, we stop because we're not getting the result that we want. All right, so yeah, it's kind of going again over the percentage of businesses that fail and why they fail. So one of the reasons is because of the insufficient market demand and also inadequate planning, as well as financial management issues. So do either of you guys already have a successful business that is actually up and running and actually making income? I love that. Make sure I didn't see somebody's face I didn't see. Yeah, I love the fact that you guys don't, because the fact that you don't, I know that sounds bad. Don't, I don't mean it that way. What I'm saying is that, first of all, I want you to have a very thriving business, right? But what I'm saying is that I'm glad that you're able to start it correctly before you grow too fast. One of my businesses that I was telling you about earlier that I did $1.2 million in, I grew it too fast. And because it grew too fast, it created so many issues for me down the road. So it's best to kind of go through the process that you guys are going through. That's what I mean by that. All right, so I'm gonna keep it moving. So another one is ineffective marketing, competition, inexperienced leadership, operational challenges. These are some of the reasons why businesses are actually failing. Regulatory and legal issues. Does anyone know what well, let me ask you this. Does anyone have any kind of articles of incorporation when you did your LLC? You guys know what that is?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So some people do, some people don't. But yeah, those are the things that fall under the category of regulatory and legal issues. Some companies, when you go, or some banks, when you go to get business credit, they want to see those documents. And if you don't have them, they won't approve your business credit. So even though those things may seem like they're not important, they are. So when you do your LLC, you'll actually see how you get the printout. They'll mail it to you, or you can print it out. It's the same with your EIN number. They'll mail it to you, or you can print it out. I always print it out, and I always save it. Tina says she has one for her nonprofit. Absolutely, you got to have them. They're uber important. I'm sorry, y'all. Hold on, so I can see y'all's comments. Yeah, Jody said earlier, PPP loans that were given to start a business. Absolutely. All right, so I'm gonna keep it moving. All right, so another reason why businesses fail is because of personal reasons. So personal factors such as health issues, burnout, which is chopping the axe without chopping in the tree without sharpening the axe. And then it says, or changes in the owner's life circumstances that can impact a business being able to continue to grow. All right, so the importance of proper business structure. Well, let me ask you guys this before I keep going through and showing y'all these slides. Do you guys want to continue to go through this process of seeing the information and hearing about the information and ask a question if you have a question? Or do you want me just to jump right into showing you guys the process of going through the LLC? Again, this is about y'all. It's not about me. I want to take you guys through everything, but I also want to make sure that I'm not moving too slow for y'all. So y'all let me know what y'all want to do.
Go through the LLC structuring.
Okay. Anybody else have an opinion, a thought? No? Okay. All right. So we can jump right into the structuring. So what I'll do is I'm gonna go through the structuring and everything for Georgia. But essentially, you can do follow that same process for whatever state you're doing yours in, okay? And when it comes, that's just for the LLC. But when it comes to the EIN number, everyone's will be the same. When it comes to the Dunn and Bradstreet, everybody's will also be the same. The only thing that will be different is actually the LLC, because we may be in different states. All right, so I'm going to cover this part of it, but so it's exploring the different business structures. All right, so there's different structures, right? So you're going to hear me talk a lot about LLC. I think, let me ask a question. Is anyone here a sole proprietor in your business? Did you register your business as a sole proprietor? You did?
Yes.
I'm just as curious as to why. Why you look at me like that? I just want to know why. I love to ask people why, because there's a reason. I'm not putting you on, you don't feel like I'm putting you on the spot, do you? You do? You can be real with me. It's all good. So the thing is, most people do sole proprietorship. A lot of people do it. But when you look, so basically, I just want to kind of go through the difference in them so that when we do the LLC, you guys will see why I always do the LLC, right? So with a sole proprietorship, it says it's the most simple and common structure, meaning that most people use this one. It's owned and operated by a single individual. There's no legal distinction between the business and the owner. That is a problem. There's no legal distinction between the business and the owner when you do a sole prop, right? The owner has to report their business income and its loss on a personal tax return, and is personally liable to business debts. That's a huge issue for me. So when you look at the next one, it says the partnerships. So there's two or more individuals that co-own and operate a business together. So partnerships is like me and Tina starting a business together, we get a partnership. So the thing about the partnerships is that they could raise problems because you have two different people coming together to start a business, and there's a better way at doing a partnership instead of actually registering as a partnership, right? So here's the one that I favor. It's the LLC, the limited liability company. So this one offers limited liability protection for owners. The owners are actually called members. So whenever you guys are doing anything with your LLC, it won't say you're the owner, more than likely, it'll say you're a member. So you have a member and you have managers. So the flexibility in management and tax treatment, the LLC can be taxed as a sole proprietorship, a partnership, or a corporation. My recommendation to you guys, if you have an LLC, you want to get it taxed as an S Corp, but not too soon, right? The reason is because when you have an LLC taxed as an S Corp, there's a lot of different things that you have to do that are unnecessary if you're not making over $50,000 worth of profit. So if your business makes less than $50,000, there's really no reason for you to put yourself through the headache of having your LLC taxed as an S Corp. Now, when you start to make at least $50,000 worth of profit and more, that's when you want to look into it, because what happens is you pay more taxes when you're taxed as when you're just a regular LLC, and you pay less when you're taxed as an S Corp. When you first start your LLC, you're not really viewed as anything by the IRS other than a disregarded entity. So that's why even with an LLC, you have to do your LLC taxes along with your personal taxes. So Anika says that she is. That's awesome. That's awesome. But hopefully you're making at least $40,000, $50,000 worth of profit. That way it makes it worth it for you. So the corporation is a separate legal entity that is owned by shareholders. Shareholders have personal assets that are protected from business liabilities. Eaton, is kind of like I was telling you earlier with your LLC, making sure that you have like a holding company, because it helps you be protected from personal liabilities. And it's the same with the corporations as well. Like real estate, you can make really good money and you can make it fast. So that's something that if you don't already have your LLC, like if it's not taxed as a S Corp, it's something that you want to really look into, because once you get to that position, you want to start doing it as a business strategy. All right, so the centralized management by a board of directors, it can issue stocks to raise capital. It is taxed as a separate entity, C corporation or pass-through entity, which is the S corporation. So my recommendation to 99% of people is that they need to start an LLC. All right. So S Corp is a special type of corporation that elects pass-through taxation, meaning that you won't be overtaxed in America. I don't know what y'all tax system is like in Israel, you know, where you are, Ethan, but it's pretty bad here. So we want to try to do everything in our power to not pay too many taxes, right? So, and then we have the nonprofit corporation and the cooperative, which those are a little bit self-explanatory as well. All right, moving through to get to the meat and potatoes. So I do want to cover some of the tax benefits and some of the pros and cons of them, right? Which I kind of did. So I'm gonna pass through this, but if you guys have any questions about it, stop me, let me know. If you have a question about a specific thing that is being covered here. Well, yeah, let me go back to the LLC. Just, I want to take a little time on that one. So with the LLC, the pros is that the limited liability is really placed on the company. So the members' personal assets, their business, everything else is protected and separate from them. Another benefit is that it's flexible taxation. This is what I was just explaining about your LLC being taxed as an S Corp. And then it says it's management flexibility. So the members can actually own it, or they can have a manager own it. The cons is that there's some administrative and legal complexities to it when you start to compare it to a sole prop or a partnership. And then you have, obviously you have fees that you have to pay every year for your LLC, right? All right, I'm not gonna go through that one. S Corp. Like I said, if you guys have any questions about S Corp, C Corp, nonprofits, LLCs, let me know. Or anything else. If you have a question about anything else, you can go ahead and ask it. If not, I'm gonna go ahead and transition into the LLC walkthrough just to make sure that we're all set up correctly. And in the process of me doing that, you can either do it as well or just kind of look through that process. And when you see something, you can stop me and I'll explain it or go back through it. So that way you guys are able to get your questions asked. All right, so we're gonna go through the steps of properly forming a fundable LLC, right? So anybody can form an LLC. Anyone can go and start a business, but we don't want to just start a business. Tina said, how do you start a holding company? So we'll go through that process. It's very similar to the LLC. In fact, you'll see it once we get there. And I know Tina's in real estate as well. So, you know, really for anybody, like I was explaining it earlier, the holding company, or at least having an additional LLC is key, because you just don't want to have yourself operating in your business that makes a lot of money and then you get sued for anything. And then now, you know, you're in a bad position, right? Oh man, I'm sorry. Hold on. I hit the wrong button. All right. Okay, so when we look at the LLC, choose a name. So I kind of covered this earlier, if you guys remember. We want to make sure that our LLC name is not something that is easily identifiable by the banks or anyone who's giving us credit, because if we have investments in our LLC name, or, you know, real estate or trucking or even construction, a lot of times those things make it difficult for us to get the funding that we want, right? So we want to be smart and strategic with choosing a name. Now, here's the thing. If you already have that type of thing in your business name, that's cool. You still can change it. It's not a problem. I'll actually show you guys the process on going through and changing it. I may have to back out the screen a couple of times because some of my personal information is going to show up probably. But I'll make sure that I come back and show you guys that process. Appoint a registered agent. So I have a question for you guys. Who's the registered agent for your business? Is it you or is it a company? Who did you guys choose?
The company.
Company. Awesome. Smart move. What company did you use, Ethan?
Basically, they're called Wyoming LLC attorneys. .com, I think.
Yeah,
And they act as a registered agent. And basically, it's also one of the requirements in Wyoming to have a registered agent. And due to privacy concerns, basically, I chose that registered agent, so I wouldn't have to use my own name to
absolutely.
file the company.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the reason why that's so important is you just like, he really just hit the nail on the head. Especially for ladies, when you use your own name to register your business, more than likely what you're going to also do is put your home address. And when you do that, now you have to worry about a man or another woman or any person being able to find you your home address. It could be dangerous. All I have to do is type your name in, type your business in on the Secretary of State's website, and I can find out your address. So when you use a registered agent, you can use that registered agent as the address for your business, and you have another person other than yourself who's able to receive legal documents on your behalf. So if you don't have a registered agent, if you have yourself as the registered agent, you really want to look into changing that. For example, most states, they do them for $25 a year. It's really, really simple to do it. You can go right online and do it, $25 a year. So you want to appoint a registered agent, file articles of organization. That's what I was talking about earlier with your LLC. So that's things that'll get printed out once you get your LLC. You just want to keep it so that it's not lost. Operating agreement. The reason I'm asking if you guys have these things is because if you don't, then I can send some of this stuff to you guys. I can make sure that you guys have like an operating agreement. I can just some of the resources that I don't need your personal information to get, I can make sure that you have it. So if you want an operating agreement, if you don't have one, if you need one, comment in the chat, and I'll make sure that I add that to you as well. So the state reporting fees. So LLCs, if you don't, so sometimes you can do it and you can make it up to, you can do it a year at least, but if not, you can do it for multiple years. Now, if you forget to do it, then what happens is when you try to get funding, you're going to get denied because your business is not an active business. All right. I'll make sure I send it to you, Sean, Anik as well. All right. So I'll keep it moving. All right. So complying with the local requirements, open a business account. So is anyone here struggling with that business account? Do you guys need help? Obviously, I don't need your personal information, but I know sometimes people have questions about opening a business account. Does anyone have any questions about opening up a business bank account? I will say if you don't have one, you really need to, because that's something else that will prevent you from getting business credit. Has anyone ever heard of Plaid before? Plaid, you guys ever heard of that? It's a company that, so what happens is if you go, no, I'm sorry, go ahead.
How do you spell that? Plaid?
Plaid.
Plaid, okay.
Plaid, yeah, Plaid, yep. So what happens is if you're applying for funding, they will ask for access to your bank account. You give them access to your bank account, they're going to look in your bank account. And what they're looking for is they want to see if you have any overdrafts. They want to see if you lied about the amount of money that you're making. And they want to see if your stuff is actually set up correctly. Then how do you avoid that? When you open a business bank account, you always want to open up like at least 5 accounts. You want an account for your incoming money, an account for your expenses. You want an account for your payroll if you have it. You want a growth account. You want an account to be able to save money as well. So the reason why you want to at least separate your income from your expenses is because when a company want to look in your bank account, you let them look inside of your incoming account, because that way you don't have any overdraft fees inside of that incoming account, because all of your expenses are coming out of your payment account, if that makes sense. So I know I've had a lot of like students that actually got denied funding because of that one thing. They had one overdraft fee and they got denied because they had an overdraft fee. So that's the way that you get around that, is that you just don't have all your money come in and out of one account. All right. So I'll move past this one as well. You guys have any questions about anything up until now? No questions? Y'all ain't sleep, are y'all?
No.
Y'all a tough crowd, man.
No.
Y'all a tough crowd. This is blurry, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, hold on.
So
There we go. What's that question?
how do you apply for business credit without them pulling like your social?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so great question. I'm glad you asked it. What you do is you have to use vendor credit. And that's something that we'll cover as
What is
well.
that?
Does it look, can you guys see this pretty good right here?
Yes.
Yes.
How about this? Is it better the other way? Which is
That
this
way it's kind of small.
this
Better
way?
the
Okay.
other way.
The other way? Okay. All right. Yeah, so basically what you're doing is you want to build vendor credit. So are you familiar with what vendor credit is?
No.
Okay, so vendor credit is where you build like net 30 accounts. Net 30 accounts are where they give you like 30 days to pay it off. So it's a slower process to do it that way, but in doing so, you don't have to utilize your social. So what I'll do is I'll cover some of that today as well, because we'll have time since I'm speeding through the process. And Keeson, he'll go over some of that tomorrow also. And anything that I'm not able to share today, as far as the credit aspect goes, then I'll be sure to share it tomorrow, and then Keeson will as well. So today I may kind of explain and not really give you a bunch of sites, just because I don't want, I can say some sites off the top of my head, but I actually have it written down and I want to be able to show it to you and actually pass it out to you. So, but I can tell you the different ones I can think of off the top of my head. And I can show you some stuff as well that we can actually see so that you can go back to it for yourself and actually sign up for it. And it'll help you get the trade lines that you need for your business credit. So the vendor credit is your business credit is just like your personal credit, meaning like you have to have trade line. That's what I mean by it's just like it. Now, so for example, there's a company called Quill, right? With Quill, what you do is you sign up for them. They're a net 30 vendor. They'll allow you to buy products, but they'll give you 30 days to pay it off. So you get that credit from whatever you spend being reported to your business credit, and you're able to get these products like sent to you. And like I said, you have 30 days to pay them off from when that date is due. There's another company called Granger. It's the same thing. Walmart, they also have it as well. You have business cards, which are like it's a company called A2B. They have what's called net 7.
Like the number 2 or ATO?
ATO. Yep. A2B. There's a few different companies. Actually, give me 1 second. Let me grab my phone.
How do you spell Quill?
QUIL. And actually, let's do this, y'all. I'm gonna go to a couple of those sites real quick. I'll save this. Can you guys see that okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it's Quill, QUILL. So when you go to this site, like you see, it says improve cash flow with net 30 terms. So let's just look at it. So they kind of explain what I was explaining about what it is, and it tells you how you request it. I actually have a ebook. I haven't actually put it out yet, but it goes through everything you need for net 30. So here you see it says select apply for net 30 as payment method at checkout, and you have to have at least $100 minimum to qualify for it. You're going to notice that a lot of companies, you have to have at least $100 in your cart before they will allow you to do net 30 terms. I have an account with them for one of my businesses, but I honestly don't even use that business anymore. Yeah, see, let's see. See if it worked. It worked. Yeah, this business that I'm logged in for now is is the business that had me in $200,000 worth of debt. Yeah, so you can kind of see some of the things that you can buy. So here is what I like to tell people about going to places like Quill. Now, you can go to Walmart and you can buy whatever you need from Walmart, right? You can buy office supplies, cleaning products, like just whatever you need, right? Or you can go to a place like Quill, you can order it, and you can utilize that report to go on your business credit, and it's going to help you build business credit. So when I do things, I try not to do them for no reason. Like I want to be able to really show a benefit for me doing it. And so like I'm saying, like with Quill, if you go there, you can buy office supplies, cleaning supplies. Like there's so many different things you can buy, tissue for your house or business or whatever you need. And you're doing that as you're building business credit. So this is Quill. And as you do that over time, you'll start to actually build up reward points. Let me see some. See if I have any of my old orders on it. Wouldn't it be embarrassing if I owed them money, y'all? And y'all saw that? No, I don't. Yeah. So what's this? 618. This was my initial order when I first ordered from them. 618.21. I was trying to see if it showed what I ordered. But so one thing that you guys can do, let's say you don't really have the funds to just buy stuff from there like that. One thing that some of my students do is they'll utilize that website to buy it. And if they want to get their money back from it, they just resell it. So that's a business model in itself where you're able to resell those items that you're buying. And a lot of times you can actually sell it for a little bit higher. Have any of you guys ever heard about, man, what is it called? What is it called? Basically what it is it's taking money off of a credit card and turning it into cash. Are y'all familiar with that? Anybody? I'm sorry, I can't see y'all. All right, so one way to do that with a company like Quill is, so Quill sell, or they used to sell, I don't know if they still do, but Quill, they used to sell gift cards. So you could go and buy a Visa gift card. Yep. That's what I was doing. So you could buy a Visa gift card. And what you can do is a couple things. The Visa gift card, you use that, and you use that 107, that 100, it's gonna be $100 gift card. So you're paying $8 for the card. So you use that and you pay off the Quill balance. So basically doing that, what you're doing is you're getting a business trade line for $8 a month, right? Or however many cards you do per month, or whatever balance it is that you do per month. But if I just do this, that trade line will report to my business credit, and I'm only paying $8 for it. Because what I'm going to do is take that $100 gift card and use that gift card to pay off that balance that I got from Quill, if that makes sense. So you can do things like that. You can also take that gift card and go to a place like Walmart. And I keep talking about Walmart, and I really hate them. But you can go to a place like Walmart, and you can use that gift card, because it's a Visa, as a way to buy like a money order. And you can use that money order to deposit into your bank account, or use it to pay a bill. Like there's just different ways around things that you can do. You just got to be creative. All right.
Question.
So, yes, sir.
How much do I have to spend on these? Like, let's say, how regularly do I have to spend money on these trade lines in order for them to actively and positively impact my business credit score?
So you would have to spend about $100.
No, how often? Like
Oh,
every
how often?
month, every
You do it one
every,
time. You can
even
do it
one
once,
time?
but
And
see, I'm sorry, I said it again.
go ahead, go ahead.
I think what he's asking is how often do he have to use it before it starts reporting
So
to the
to the not bureau, but to the reporting places. Yeah. So
yes.
you only have to do it once. Now,
Oh,
but
okay.
here's the thing. So you can do it one time. That one time will report. But what you
Okay.
run into is that it's not going to report again the next month if you don't buy something else the next month.
So the score is going to go down if I don't buy again?
The score won't go down, but this is what you're going to run into. What'll happen is, so your score will be fine. But even with personal credit, we have what's called a thin credit report. So your business credit report will be thin because you only have that 1 month worth of trade line reporting, unless you go to a different company and get a different trade line. See what I'm saying? So, but you want something every month reporting, because if you don't, then it's going to be weird, because it's like, oh, he started a business, he got something that he needed for the business, and then he just didn't buy anything else. But now he's here trying to get other credit, like larger credit.
So basically you need multiple lines of credit
Absolutely.
for this. Okay.
Absolutely. And so what I'm going to do too is I'm going to also show you guys how, like, this right here is pretty it's pretty common. You'll hear a lot of people online talk about
Your screen is blurry.
yeah, because I wanted to see y'all.
Oh.
Hold on. Yeah, because when I back out of it like that, for some reason it jumps to being blurry. How about now?
Yes.
Okay. So like, you'll be able to see online a lot of different people talk about, like, Quill. Another one is Granger. Like these type of sites like this, because a lot of people, like, I've posted so much content about like these type of sites. But there's also sites that you can go to and not have to buy products. The downside to that is you're not really getting anything other than the trade line. So, but here's another one. That's the Net 30 that I was telling you guys about, is Granger. If you guys want to write that down, that's another one that you can look into. And like, for those of you that are in like real estate, I don't know how your stuff is structured, but for me, I utilized my contractors to do work. So like, even today, I'll use one of my contractors have my credit card. They'll go to Home Depot, they'll buy the products, and then I'll pay them for their labor. So if I were using Granger, then I could order different stuff from Granger for my construction business that is part of my real estate business. And that will be a way in which I can still build business credit. So, like, for example, too, I guess I can mention this because I know you're a real estate investor. And if you're starting a business, if you're really doing like fix and flips, one thing I really, really highly recommend is that you don't just have the real estate business. Like I was mentioning earlier with the holding company, what I would also do is I would also create like a renovations company, basically. And the reason why is because your renovations company, if you're able to get people to do the renovations, if you're doing the fixing and flipping, your renovations company is the one that could also get business credit for itself. So you can get business credit for your renovations company and for your real estate investing company. And it's just cheaper for you and better for you to find people to be able to do your construction for you. So another strategy, and this kind of falls under taxes, but if I'm a real estate, if I'm a real estate investor, and I have an idea about how construction works, even if I don't, I would still open my own construction business, and then I would just use my construction business to subcontract workers. So in America, for example, like I'll use myself. So my real estate business is the one that is going to do the transactions, right? But I also have a construction business. My construction business, the workers that I have, they're not my employees. They're like vendors, basically. They're people who they're contractors. So my real estate business pays my construction business. My construction business then pays my contractors. Now, here's what that does. You pay yourself from your real estate business. That money shows the banks that you have money going into your business checking account for your construction business. Like I told you guys earlier, set up a separate bank account for external payments. Now I take the money and I just slide it over and I use that money to pay off my vendors. In doing so, you're showing a flow of money going through that bank account, but you can also have a nest egg sitting in that account, but you want to do a agreement between yourself and your business. And I hope I'm not overcomplicating this for you guys. And if it's not making sense, but it's information you need, I can't see you guys right now. So just, it's okay to stop me. But so with your real estate business, that business is going to pay your construction business. You already have money in your construction business, but you're going to use that money that just came from here and you're going to use that to pay your vendors because it shows a flow of money, right? Now, the money that I would take and put into my construction business bank account, you can't just put the money in there. If you do it like that, you're liable to be taxed for that money. So you need to make an agreement between a written agreement between yourself and your construction business to show that you put that money in there as like a startup bank for that business. So what I'm telling you is that a strategy that people use is that we get one business, get business funding for it, get a business that utilizes things similar to that business, get business funding for it, and then we're able to actually take extra write-offs because what we're doing is we're showing that money is going from this business to that business, and we're still making payments for it. Now, at the end of the year, your construction business, for example, is not really going to make any profit because almost everything that you're putting into it is being paid off to your contractors. You still have the money that you initially put in there, but remember, you're going to make an agreement so that you're not taxed on that money. Now, why is that important for you to know? The reason why that's important for you to know is because if I make $100,000 in my real estate business, but I lost $20,000 in my construction business, then what happens is now I come together the $20,000 that I lost and the $100,000 that I made, and it goes to $80,000 that I'll be taxed on. If that makes sense to you guys, can somebody say it makes sense? I can't see y'all. Did it make sense?
I followed it well.
Okay. All right.
So basically what you're saying is have multiple businesses in one business, but service them as if you don't even own those businesses, basically, but you are, so that you can use it for tax purposes to to compensate for the profit or the loss.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, and with any business you have, it's going to be like you don't own it pretty much. And right. it's not just for taxes. It's also so you can get more business funding. Now,
okay.
And here's the thing. Some people don't understand the reason why it's important. Like why I would even say get as much business credit as you can, business funding as you can. Mm-hmm. But like, let's say, for example, like Ethan, like, for example, he's an investor. Do you know that if I can get like American Express, for example, they have a lot of companies have introductory 0% interest rates. You get that business credit card and let's say it's $20,000. You can max out that $20,000 business credit card and it will not impact your personal credit at all. It won't hurt your business credit. You can max it out. If you got a year to pay that back at 0% interest, you literally just got $20,000, no interest, and you have a year to make that money grow. So what a lot of people do is we'll get these 0% interest rate business credit cards, and we'll use that money to then go and invest it into another vehicle. Like when I say vehicle, I don't mean car. We'll use that money to invest it into something else that is going to make us money. And what we'll do is we'll pay that $20,000 back before it goes out within that year's time. This is something that a lot of people do as a way of like investing. Truist, for example, they have credit cards that you can get 6 months, 0% interest. They have one that's, I think 9 months, 0% interest, and they have one that's like 12 months. And I think Bank of America, some companies have 2 years or a year and a half, 0% interest. So that's just good for you guys to know as well, because it's ways for you to be strategic about building your business. But again, if your foundation is trash, if your foundation isn't set properly, any strategy you use is not going to work. So, but again, here's another one that's Granger right here.
2 points.
Yes, sir.
First of all, I won't have personal credit in the US. As such, whatever I do with the business cannot affect my personal credit, because without a social security number, I won't just have any personal credit. That's
Right.
one. Two, from what I understood so far, depending on how much you use a certain credit, like the so-called credit utilization rate, American Express won't report that to the credit bureaus. That, like, let's say I maxed out my $20,000 out of a $20,000 credit card frame, and it won't impact my business credit. Somehow it doesn't make sense based on what
Yes.
I know.
Right. So that won't impact your business. It will impact your personal credit, but not your business credit. But it also depends on what type of card you have. So,
Okay.
let's say, for example, like I have don't have it on me, but I have a Amex Platinum, and I have an Amex Gold card, and I have a Amex like Blue Business card. So
Okay.
if I do that with my Platinum or my Gold card, yeah, it's because those are charge cards. But if I do it with my my Blue Business card, yeah, it won't. Now you might have an issue. You may have an issue with Amex if you do that and you don't, like, you're not showing any kind of like I guess activity through the business checking account if you have that with them, because then what happens is it looks like you just took the money. But
Okay.
as long as you're making those monthly payments and it's not a charge card, yeah, it won't impact your credit in a negative way, because business credit is different from personal. Whereas, and I know you're not in America, so it doesn't impact you the same, but if I spend on my credit card, that's my personal card, $30,000, what's going to happen is it's going to tank my personal credit. But if I spend that $30,000 on a business credit card, as long as it's not reporting to my personal credit, then it won't do anything to my personal credit, and it won't hurt my business credit.
Understood.
Yeah.
You talked about a second company. You said American Express and then Troll or something. What was the second one that you spoke about?
Truist.
Truist.
Mm-hmm.
Truist.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Yeah. So and they're really good, because one of the things, and we'll get into it tomorrow, but what I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna try to get together a document for you guys and actually send some stuff out so you'll have it and be able to look at. And just so you guys know, I don't want y'all to be like, oh, he was all over the place. I had a plan for today, but again, I want to make sure that I'm not just wasting your time with stuff. It's not going to take me a long time to kind of walk you through the LLC thing. I do want to spend some time on the vendor credit by getting credit without your social, and going over questions that you guys have, as well as going over getting the high limits with your social. So that's the reason why I'm kind of like, and I'm just taking your questions as well. So today is kind of like thrown off, but I'm okay with it if you guys are okay with it. All right. So, but yeah, so Truist, did somebody say something? Okay. Yeah. So Truist is the other one. And I also mentioned Bank of America. Right now, Truist, they have it where if you open up a business bank account, and deposit, I think it's $1,500 in it for 60 days, they'll give you $400. But I'll warn you, you need to look at the requirements of that, because the first time I did it, I didn't get the money. I just put $1,500 in there with 2 transactions and thought I was good, but I wasn't. So just read the fine print on that. But you can look at a lot of banks that they'll give you like an introductory thing to where if you make a deposit for $1,500, like Truist, for example, you'll get $400 or you'll get $600. Chase does it all the time. And what I'll do is I'll open an account and I'll do that so I can get the free money. It's just sitting there. I don't need it anyway. It's just, I might as well get the $600 or the $400 and doing it. But then what I'm going to do is, after I get that money, I'm going to go to them for business credit. So it's a strategy that you can use to get more money for your business. You just got to be creative. So, all right. So yeah, but Granger, back to getting business credit without your social. Granger is another well-known company, right? It's this one right here. Another one, Floor and Decor. So when I went to Floor and Decor, I got a $10,000 credit card without using my social. It was $10,000. I was so shocked because my credit at the time was trash. My personal credit was trash at that time. And I was so surprised these people gave me $10,000 of their money. And again, you guys, some of you, this makes sense, right? Because of the business that you're in. Some of you, it doesn't. But anybody could still go to Floor and Decor and you can just do resale, or you can find things that you need for the house. You know what I mean? So it's still ways that you can use this and actually benefit from it. So that's Floor and Decor. The card that I mentioned to you guys earlier is A2B fuel card. So what's really dope about this fuel card is they don't even ask for your social, but you're also able to use it at places like Home Depot. You can use it at like automotive shops. You can use it like tools, car stuff. I used it for tires. I'm telling you guys, when I was in debt and learning how to build business credit, stuff like this saved my life, man, because I was able to use this A2B card to go and get gas. I was also able to use it to get tires when I needed tires. And like I told you guys earlier, I did handyman work. I was able to go to Home Depot, and I hate to say it, but I'm being real with y'all. I would buy tools, use them, and return them. But, you know, still, I was able to do that without having any money. I ain't have no money. I had to be innovative, right? But yeah, this is another one, A2B fuel cards. And there's many different fuel cards that you can choose from, but A2B is pretty good. So I gave you guys A to B. I'll give you guys Fuel Man. And these are everything I'm doing right now for you guys is showing you credit you can get for your business, things that you can really use, but it won't report to your personal social. You don't even have to give your personal social for a lot of this stuff. So this is the other website, Fuel Man. And it's another fleet gas card, right? All right, so I have others that I could show you guys as well, but what I'm gonna show you guys now is other Net 30 accounts that you can get with your social. Well, let me show you this too. This might be good for some of y'all. I don't know if y'all know this. Y'all know Amazon has a Net 30 account? I can't see anybody, so I can kind of see. Not really though.
Yes, I know that.
You say yes?
I did
Yes.
No, I did not know that.
Okay, good. Yeah. So you want to go through pay by invoice. But yes, Amazon has a Net 30 account. They also have Net 48, I think. something like that.
And is
So-
Amazon with a SSN or without?
I'm sorry, say it again.
Is the Amazon account, the Net30 account with your SSN or without?
Without. Yep. But and see, here's the thing. So actually, I think I may have this too. Let me see, y'all. I can trust y'all, right? Y'all ain't gonna steal my information. Hold on. Other usernames for Amazon. I probably got a million. Yeah. All right, this was the first business I ever started. I think I got an Amazon account. I don't know. Oh, that's a wrap. I ain't got the email address no more. But basically what I was gonna do is just show you guys that that process. But yeah, you don't have to do your social. But so with the Amazon account, you may not necessarily get approved the first time, but it's okay because it's not your personal social. So it's not like, you know, you go and you get an inquiry on your credit report and now it's like negative on your credit report. So it's okay to apply again, but I would try to see what I need to fix in order to get approved. And what it might be is it very well may be that you need to get more trade lines, because some of these places, they require you to have, like you have tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 credit. Now, when you start to get to tier 3 without your social, we're talking about like cars, right? We're talking about like things that are actually high ticket items, but you can build up to that pretty quickly without using your social. And if you guys want, I can show you some of the companies that you can do that with as well. And one is like, I'll just tell you, but one is Ford, one is Ally Bank, and one is Mercedes. So Keeson, like I said, he does credit, and I think that he might be doing it that way because he understands credit, and there's no way that man has so many cars. Like he just bought 3 cars like over the past month that I know of. No, at least 2 that I know of. So you can get cars on your business credit without your social as well. And you can take those same cars, put them on a platform like Toro, rent them out, let them make you money. So, all right, that's Amazon.
I have a question.
Absolutely. I love questions. Thank you for asking.
So it sounds like Amazon is probably one of the harder ones to get business credit for. Which one do you say will be the easiest? Like first time.
Yeah, so I would still, first of all, I would still try Amazon, because remember, it's not gonna ding you. But what I would do is so I have a sheet too, and I'll send it to you guys as well. And it'll show you different tiers, like you have tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. So
Okay.
Some of the easier ones would be like A to B fuel card,
Okay.
Quill. There's another one I'm going to show you that's called Nav Boost. That one is guaranteed you'll get it, because what that does is it report as a trade line, but it's a like business and personal credit hub for you. But it reports as a trade line. So that's like mandatory. You like have to get that. That's something that just everyone has it. It's really good to have.
And you said it's Nav Boost?
Yep. I'm gonna go to it right now. Actually, I'm gonna go to one
Okay.
first, and then I'll go to Nav. I'll go to Nav now. I'm gonna go to Nav. So you go to nav.com. The other one I want to show you guys is Sam's Club. I don't know if you guys are aware, but they have business credit on Net30 as well. That's pretty easy to get. Yeah, so like let me see something. So that's my old business. Let me see if hold on 1 second, y'all. So Nav, basically what it does is it shows you, like you can see over here, you can get like places that you can go for finance. Actually, let me log out because so you guys, because there's a certain way that you need to go in and actually all right, so get started. Oh, and that thing is a lot too. My credit score ain't dropped no 70 points, y'all. I promise you. Um uh oh, that's why. Yeah, this was that construction business I told you guys about. Let me try to log out. Yeah, like that. This is a virtual address. This is something that I just opened up. Hold on. Remind me to tell you guys too about, like, even with Dunn and Bradstreet, like you see this right here. You see how I can edit it? You can edit a lot of this information, but companies, they'll use this. So let me explain this to you then while I'm here. So when you guys get NAV, for example, my credit score is higher than that, I promise y'all. But when you get NAV, for example, your like how it says edit your monthly revenue, companies, they'll utilize this, and your personal right here, they'll utilize this, and that can be used to either pre-qualify you or not. So I'll tell you guys, I'm not ever telling you to lie, okay? But I am telling you it's projected. So what that means is that if you project, like, this is, I mean, in this business is probably accurate. But if you, and the reason, just so you know, the reason why this is accurate is because this is accurate. But this personal annual income comes out of my business income. And that's something else that I plan to show you guys later in the class about, like, how to pay yourself and why it's so important. So but anyway, so this amount right here, companies, they'll pre-qualify you business credit based off of this amount. And here's how. So when you look into NAV, and I just set this up too, y'all, so I don't really have a lot of stuff on it. So you've qualified for NAV's VIP service, one application to access 20 or more lenders. So if I apply here, the information is actually going to go to multiple lenders, and I can see who gives me what, right? But the beautiful thing about NAV, if you get this, it gives you so much information about, like, vendor credit, like what I was showing you guys, but it also gives you so much information about places that you can apply for that are not easily found online. Like, I've never heard of this place. Well, I've never heard of this place. But these are places that, just different places that you can go and apply for credit. And there's more options. So these are all places that you can get business credit. Some will ask for social, some will not. But you can also, I think, search it by that. All right, so I need to back out of this though, because I want to show you guys where to go when you actually log in. Hopefully it won't. See how it shows up net 30 accounts? These are just, I'll click here just to show you guys. All right, and so 22 easy net 30 accounts to build business credit. So you're going to notice that with most net 30 accounts, Hold on. I'm gonna try to drop this in the chat for you guys, so that way y'all can have it too. I don't know if you can click on it or not, but let's see. You just want to search nav boost whenever, if you decide to look it up, or you can click on that and it'll take you right to it.
It works.
I'm sorry, say it again.
It works.
It works. Okay, awesome, awesome. Appreciate it. So here are some of the net 30 accounts that are really easy to get. And you guys, I can't see you guys, so I don't want to bore y'all. So if this is like really slow and it's not valuable information for you, let me know, because it may be valuable for one person, but not for others. And if that's the case, I'm willing to, like, the one person who needs more of this type of thing, I can show you some additional ones afterwards. But I want to try to keep everyone as engaged as possible. So, and I can't see you, so I don't know. I don't know if you sleep or what. So, but is this information helpful to you guys? Be honest. If everyone can respond and just let me know if it is or isn't.
Yes.
Okay, there's one yes. Anybody else? I can't see y'all, so I'll fall asleep, y'all. I promise.
Yes, useful.
Good. Okay. All right. I don't know if that was okay. 2 people said yes, so I'm gonna take that and go with it. All right, but just remember.
Some people said yes in the chat.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. My girl, man. I appreciate you looking out, man. I can't even see that chat. Go ahead. You want to say something?
I have a question. I don't know if y'all discussed this before I got on. But virtual addresses, how do you get those?
Yeah, I can walk through that as well. That's actually that's one of the things that I'm going to walk you guys through today.
Okay.
And it's funny you mentioned that, because I have a friend that just bought she bought a commercial space and doesn't know what to do with it. So she was asking for some ideas, and I told her to open up a virtual address company. That you can make so much money with a virtual address company, and it's so low maintenance that it's ridiculous. But I know that wasn't your question. I just had to share that. So, but yeah, I'm gonna walk you through it. All right, so these are some easy net 30 places that you can get approved for. And you'll notice Quill, Granger, Ulan, these are all real popular ones. HD Supply. And what do you know? Amazon and Nav Boost, yeah, or bonus Nav. But with this, again, you want to do Nav Boost, and that's what I'm really trying to show you guys, so that way you can see what it is, what it looks like. It keeps logging me in, man. I don't see how to log out. So just Google Nav Boost and it'll take you to it. Well, I guess let me show you this real quick since we're here. So one of the cool things about Nav is that, and it shows it on a different screen too, but it'll show you like all your credit scores. So this business, though it's 3 years old, I'm just starting to do things with it. So that's why, and I don't know if you guys have seen my content, but if you'll hear me sometimes tell people, yo, just buy an LLC and just hold it. The first business I ever created, I just resurrected that LLC. It's old. And I did that because in doing so, it allows me to have even greater odds at getting my approvals. So if you don't know what business you want to start, just start an LLC and just keep it. And, you know, you got to pay obviously every year to renew it. But yeah, I think that's a good strategy to use because, like I said, you just don't know when you will need it, and you can always utilize that as a way to get more funding. But yeah, so NAV is a great option. And so other place I was going to go to, Sam's Club. Actually, since I'm here, but Divvy, this is another really good one that you guys should notate as well. But Divvy is more like Amex charge cards. They'll give you a large limit, but you gotta make sure that you pay that one back every month. Home Depot has one as well. Home Depot, Lowe's, like all of these places have them as well. Yeah, so hold on. Which I know, so if, like, for example, with Sam's Club, you do have to go in store to do it. I was just thinking about Home Depot because you can apply online for Home Depot, but Sam's Club, you have to go in store. And I will tell you that what they'll do is, so I think it Sam's Club credit card, Sam's Club MasterCard. I think this is the one right here that is the net account. But that looks weird. But yeah, you basically want to print it off and actually take it inside of the store and do it. But what they'll do is they'll call your business. So whatever information you put on the application, Sam's Club for sure will call it and verify. A lot of places don't do that, but I know for a fact they've done it with me. They've done it with some of my students, like some of my friends who's gone in there and got cards. So if you put a phone number down for Sam's Club, expect them to call you. And the reason that I said it is because most people know that they can put down a business number and a personal number. But if they put their personal number down as their business number, it's a red flag for lenders. So that's not something that you want to do. See.
So what I'm hearing is really there should be no personal information intertwining whatsoever.
At all. With all of this stuff that we're going over now, none of your personal information. Now here's the thing, like some companies like Home Depot, for example, I know for a fact they do it, but some companies, they'll still require your social, which is fine. But what you need to do is, or they'll have you put your social down if you have one to put down. But what you do is there's a box that says, don't include my personal credit or something like that. You got to be very careful when you fill out these applications because that's how they get you. Like when I first started I think it was one of my businesses, I didn't get approved for the business credit, the net 30. So I got a code and I called them about the code. And the lady told me, she said, oh yeah, that code means that you weren't approved with your business alone. I had just opened the LLC. So she was like, we're going to need you to personally guarantee it. Are you willing to do that? And again, y'all, at that time, my credit was trash. So I told her, no, I'm not interested in doing that. Now, the way that you get around that, because let's say I didn't pay attention and I allowed them to run my personal credit. Anytime I'm doing a application for like net 30, any kind of like credit where I don't want my credit run, my personal credit run, I just freeze it. So I'll freeze it and then I'll go ahead and apply for that. I'll apply for that product. But if you don't freeze it and then they run it by mistake, then now you're going to have to fight with them to get them to remove that inquiry off your personal credit.
So you go in and you freeze your personal credit?
Yep.
How do you do that?
Good question. So I'll type it here. So basically I just Google, and it'll probably pop up because I use it so much, but freeze Experian. Seeing how it pops up, freeze your credit file for free. And then you just go in and you freeze it. And you just freeze it.
Does it freeze it immediately or does it take like a certain amount of days or something?
It'll do it the same day.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll do it the same day. But you just want to make sure that when you do it, you want to go back to it and unfreeze it, because if you try to do something else in the future with it, then you're going to get denied. You'll go through a hard time because they'll say you need to go back and unfreeze your report. And you just don't want to deal with that, because I think that was one of the things that happened with me too when I applied for business credit before, and I got denied. And it wasn't denied, but it was like, you need to go and unfreeze it and then come back and apply. And it's frustrating because it's like, now I got to go through that process again. But you just pretty much type in freeze for all of them. And it'll pull up exactly what you need. See? And just place a security freeze. Now, when you go back to take it off, you just do the same exact thing. The same process you went to freeze it is the same process you go through to unfreeze it. But like for here, for example, you would just go to manage freeze and just click unfreeze. It's super simple. And since we're here, so Equifax is one of the companies too that will house your business credit. So they're going to house your personal credit and they're going to house your business credit. So that's important to know, because just like you check your personal credit, you're going to need to be checking your business credit, because it has happened where companies have gotten their profiles mixed up. And so you'll be out here applying for stuff and getting denied because your credit is just bad, but really it's not your credit. It's another company's credit. It happens. It happens often, more often than you probably think it would. So, but yeah, again, you just, with these freezes, TransUnion, you just type in freeze and go to it. See? And it's as simple as that. I'm trying to think if it's valuable to share right now. Does anyone have any personal credit questions? I know I still need to get into the LLC thing, and I will, but I'm really passionate about credit. You guys have any questions about what we shared so far? Personal credit, business credit, any questions about any of it? All right. So, all right. So I'm going to go through. I'm trying to think of the best way to maximize y'all's time, and two, to open up more for questions. But let me do this. I'll do this. So I'm on Georgia's thing. So let me show you this. One of the reasons why earlier I was talking about your address, and I know you asked about the virtual address as well. So here's from a safety perspective why that's important. I'm trying to think of one of my businesses to do. Actually, no, hold on. All right, so if you guys remember, I told you earlier about one of my old businesses, LLCs that I did. I went and reactivated it. This is it. So I'm gonna show you guys something. So let's say I'm a lender and I'm going to, you're applying for business credit. This is exactly what they do. They sit there, they type your business in on the Secretary of State website, wherever you say is registered at. Okay, so they look, okay, his business is here. That's the name of it. It's an LLC, okay? It's active and it's compliant. Check. So let me click on here to show you guys something. All right, so now looking at this right here, this is going to show my business name is an LLC, professional, scientific, and technical services. This is where I was talking about earlier with the NAICS codes. The subcode is administrative management and general management consulting services. So this is what you call a consulting business. Like I was telling you guys earlier. Now, if you go down to the registered agent name, so let me explain the reason why I put my name there and why I did it like I did it. So first of all, let me back up. If you look, you see the principal office address. Whenever you guys are doing your LLC, the principal office address, that literally just means the address that your business is physically located at. So you never want to put your personal address as the principal office address. It's going to destroy your chances of getting business credit. So that's number one. Number two, it says date of formation, registration date, January 7th, 2020. Now, I've been a business coach for a lot longer than since January 7th, 2020. But what I didn't do was I didn't start it as an actual LLC business. I was just coaching and mentoring and consulting with people. So if you look, it says the last, you can't see my finger. It says last annual registration, 2023. That was this year. Now, here's what's very interesting. A lot of times when I talk to people about the importance of the registered agent, for example, they'll say, when I tell them like, yo, don't put your address to your house because it messes you up with business credit and it's a safety issue. Here's why. Like, if you know my business is a CEO syndicate, if this is my personal address, I don't know if you guys paid attention to that, but I didn't type my name in. I just typed in my business name. And this isn't my personal thing. This is like just a business search. So just to show you. Is any of you guys in Georgia? Anybody? I can't see you. If you can just answer. If anyone's in Georgia, USA.
Sean is.
Who is?
Sean.
Sean. Okay. Sean, do you know about have you ever heard of Him 500 or the Circle of CEOs or any of you guys?
No.
No? All right. All right, so my point in doing this is to show you guys how any business name that you have, just type it in. and the registered agent's name is going to pop up. So like Gary, for example, right here. More than likely, this is Gary's business, and that's his house address. Here it says admin is dissolved. This business, basically, if I wanted to go and start an LLC and use this, I could, because it's not an active business. So it looks like Gary, he started this God First Training and Transition Center. It was formatted in 2013. He never did a annual registration, and it was dissolved in 2016. So if I go here, this will give me any kind of changes that he's made about that business, right? So even if you go and change things, people still are able to go and see what you changed, lenders included. Now, that's okay, because most of them don't go that deep into it. And so here we're back to the business that I showed you guys earlier, my business, one of my businesses. And I just want to show you something. So I first started the business January 7, 2020. So 7/19/21, what happened was it was dissolved. So that means that I'm not going to do anything with this business, basically. So 9/30/2021, it was officially done. So I got a notice here, 7/19. Hold on. I don't know if you guys can see this or not. I'm trying to pull it up to show you. And the reason that I'm trying to show you guys this is, man, I can't. Oh, here you go. All right. Can y'all see that?
It's blurry.
Blurry, okay. Oh, that's why. All right, sorry. So, but basically what I was trying to show you was there's a lot of information that is hitting inside of here. So if you're a person that's concerned about your identity, if you're a person that's concerned about your personal information being online, then I would just recommend you not even try to change anything on your LLC. You just need to start a new one. Because if you do change anything, it's going to be pretty easy to find. So, but if you look here, I started the business. I got a notice to dissolve the business because I didn't redo the registration or anything. It actually got dissolved on 9/30/2021. But then if you notice, I just reinstated this thing. I reinstated it the 21st of June. And then what did I do? I changed the name on July 3rd. And then what did I do? I updated the NAICS code. So I wish that I could, and I don't want to like try to do it because I don't want to mess anything up, but I really want to show you guys that process, because if you're not, like, I don't care that this information is online. I'm going to use this LLC and I'm going to build hundreds of thousands of dollars of business credit with it. So the reason why I did that, and just so you guys know, I'm not telling you to do something that I don't do. I went back and I updated. So what did I do? I reinstated it, and then I changed the name. The name used to be Prolific Purchases. I used to sell stuff online. That's what this business was. So I changed the name, and then what did I do? I updated the NAICS code. The reason why I updated this code is because at the time when I did the business, I didn't know everything I know about business structure. So because of that, I did it wrong. So now I just showed you guys the NAICS code. It actually shows that this is a consulting business. All right. So if you, because I know some of you guys mentioned earlier about basically your business may be shown as a high risk industry. If you're okay with someone being able to go and look and see what you change, cool, just do what I did. But if you're not okay with it, you're gonna have to start a whole nother LLC. But I will tell you that most of us don't have to worry about people randomly going and searching our stuff. So you're probably fine. I run more of a risk of someone trying to do this to me because I'm starting to put myself out there to the public. But if you're not doing that, then you don't have to really worry about that. All right. So does anyone have any questions around that information for LLC? All right. All right. So as far as walking through the LLC, one of the things that you want to do first is you want to get a let me show you guys two ways, right? So you want to get a registered agent, but you also want to get a virtual address. So I'll do the virtual address. Well, I'll do the registered agent. And it's as simple as, like it was mentioned earlier, I'm in Georgia. So Georgia registered agent, it costs $25 a year. Now, here's what most people don't know. Let me see. Hey, Ethan, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear.
Okay, I'm sorry. Let me get this thing back situated. Hey, with your registered agent, you also have a virtual address, right?
Yes.
How much is your virtual address per month? Or did they do all that together?
It was a yearly fee, and the LLC formation and many other things was together $200.
Okay. So then they probably did the same thing then if it was just $200. So here's the thing. In America specifically, when like you might go online and you may see people talk about a virtual address, I can almost guarantee you that when people talk about a virtual address, they don't talk about using your registered agent as your virtual address. And the reason is because a lot of people just don't know. Now,
Yeah, I've never heard of that.
yeah, like that.
I've seen like a lot of posts and nobody ever talks about the registered agent part. It's always the virtual.
And here's the reason why that's some sauce, as they say, is because, like, for example, one of my virtual addresses cost me $60 per month. I have another one that cost me $50 per month. But when I learned that I can get a registered agent for $25 per year, and then all I need to do is use this address right here as my principal address, saying that that's where my business is located. And I can use my mailing address, my house address, as my mailing address. That was a game changer. Think about it. You go from paying $60 a month, $50 per month for a virtual address to just paying $25 per year. You save so much money like that. So the reason why that works is because your registered agent, they have to have a commercial building. So when you get a registered agent for $25 per year, now you're able to get mail sent there because they're going to receive your your annual registration stuff for your LLC and like some of your legal documents for your LLC. So now you're able to get mail going there anyway. So when they receive it, if something's sent, they're just going to send it to you because that's just what they do. I'll tell you something else I just learned as far as virtual addresses goes. So the one that I just showed you guys, this one right here, like if you type it in, you're going to see it's a building. Let me show you guys real quick. So is this building, right? This one's $50. This is $50 a month. Now, if I want to, I can hold a meeting. I can rent out that office. So that's why it's kind of cool too to have a virtual address, a virtual office. The company I use is this company, Alliance Virtual Offices. I use them for all of my virtual offices. However, like I just mentioned, if I would have known before doing this what I know now, then I wouldn't have done this. I would have just used my registered agent. Because as you see, this is $50 a month. $200 one-time setup fee, $175 a month, $196 a month, $320 per month. And that's to get a live receptionist and a phone, I'm sure. And then if you see over here on the side, these are all terms. They're 6 months terms. So for $50 a month, a $200 one-time setup fee, this is what you get. So here, where it says mail forwarding, additional fees apply, here you're able to get, I think it's like I pay $10 per month for that. But it's only for one, they'll send it out once a month for $10 per month. So, and then if you go there or someone meets you there for a business meeting, receptionists will greet them and everything else. But yeah, I'd rather pay $25 a year than $50 a month, right? But when companies look your business up, you want them to be able to see that it's an actual business. Like you want them to be able to see that it's a commercial space. You don't want them to see UPS or any of these kind of places. You just don't want them to see that, right? This is what you want them to see. So Alliance is a place that I recommend, but there are several. You have DaVinci, you have Alliance, you have Regis, you have Regis, DaVinci, Alliance. Hold on. Yeah, so this is Regis, Alliance, iPostal. I've never used them, but I know a guy who he does the same stuff that I do. He's talked to me about them a few times, but these two for me are clutch. You can't go wrong. But and Opus is another good one. Yeah, so with these though, with these virtual offices, like I said, you just want to make sure that it's a place that has a physical location, not the UPS store, not USPS, like an actual virtual office. So anyone needed any more information on that or have any questions about that? All right. Okay, so all right, let me see. All right. So Dunn and Bradstreet number, or actually, I think I was explaining something else. I was explaining, so basically I guess just to give you an overview, you want to go ahead and get your virtual address first. Now, whether that's going to be your registered agent or you actually get an address, like I showed on like Alliance, Opus, or Regis, you want to get it first. But you also want to make sure that you have a registered agent before you get your LLC as well. So the reason is because once you start filling out your LLC paperwork, you don't want to put down one address and then now you have to go and change it later because you got a virtual address. So you want to get your virtual phone number, your business phone number, and you want to get your virtual address, because those two things are going to be the things that actually have you set up for success when you do your LLC. Because again, your principal address, that's going to be the address where you actually type out the name where your business is physically located, which is going to be the virtual address. And your mailing address, when you do credit cards and stuff with the bank, you never want to put down your mailing address as your virtual address's address, Because if you do that, it's going to take you forever to get your credit card. It's going to take you forever to get your debit card or any documents you may need. I know it took me over a month to get my debit card and my credit card from Truist because the lady who did my paperwork did it the wrong way. But anyway, yeah, so you just want to make sure that stuff is set up first. Now go ahead. Yeah, no problem. Thanks for asking the question.
How do you circumvent that? Basically, how do you make sure that you get the credit card as soon as you have it in the post? Which address would you use?
Mailing address. So
okay.
for you, where do you get your stuff mailed to? I'm sure did you get it like, so does your stuff all go to the company that sets your stuff up for you?
Yes, basically it's a virtual address, and any incoming mail that I get, they scan it and they send it via email.
Awesome, man. Awesome. That's awesome. I love how you got all your stuff set up, man. That's good. And it's great you went that way because that way you know everything is set up correctly. So but yeah, so now with your DUNS number, so if you guys see this, right? I don't know if I should have done that. Can y'all see okay? Y'all can see the screen okay? Let me know if you can't. Now,
yeah, we can.
It made it smaller.
Really?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Okay, yeah, that's good.
Okay, awesome. All right, so let me ask you guys a question. Please be interactive. Please. So unless you already know the answer. If you know the answer and no one answers, then just say, hey, Josh, I know the answer. So if you're going to get a Dunn and Bradstreet number, how much does it cost? I'm going to show you the whole screen. How much would you pay for that Dunn and Bradstreet number?
$229 expedited service.
Yeah. Does anyone disagree?
Well, that's what it says on the screen.
Yeah. That's how they be getting people. That thing, that thing just as free as it can be, man. But I can't.
Oh, for real.
Yes, yo, I have so many clients that they go through this process and, well, they start to do the process, and when I actually meet with them and we go over the plan for them, and I say, hey, what's your DUNS number? Like, I don't have no DUNS number. The thing is almost $300. Like, no, it's not. It's free. I have a friend right now who, which I'm not gonna say his name. You probably don't know him anyway, but he does a lot online on social media. He's really big on social media. He makes a lot of money. And he looked at one of my videos one day and he was like, yo, you think I need a DUNS number? I said, you don't have a DUNS number? He didn't have one. I was shocked. There's another, well, she's not my friend, but my barber, before she moved, I was talking to her one day just about business, and I was surprised that she made over 6 figures. But she used to charge me like $50 to cut my hair, so I shouldn't be surprised. But she made over 6 figures as a barber. She's really good, really detailed. She moved to another state, so I don't use her anymore. But I was talking to her, and I was like, yeah, just talking about the DUNS number, and she was like, no. So she said she went to Navy Federal to get a loan for her car because I was helping her start a business, a rental business or trucking business. And she said she learned about a DUNS number then. And I was like, you don't have a DUNS number? She's like, dude, I never even knew I needed one. She said that she started to get one just to get it because she heard about it. She said, but she saw it was $200 something, so she didn't get it. And I was like, yo, that thing is free. So now that you guys know, and let me tell you this about the DUNS number too. Not only is it free, which means it's not $229. This is what will happen. They will call you and try to sell you on why you need to pay them for a service that's like $1,300 or $1,500. Trust me, you guys, you don't need it. Save your money. You don't need it. What they're trying to do is they're trying to, just like they say here, faster, expedited service. They're going to pitch it to you the same way when they try to sell you that other product that they have. What I do when they call me, once I realize the numbers that they're calling from, I stop answering. But when I don't and I answer the phone, I just hang up on them. It may be rude, but I just click. Here's why. More than likely, they have your account pulled up when they're calling you. What do you think they're trying to call you with your account pulled up for? Can anybody answer? Anybody have an idea why you think they're trying to call you with your account pulled up? I know I got one brave soul out there. Nobody knows? All right, I'll tell you, no problem. The reason that they're trying to call you is because they're trying to sell you on products that you really don't need. So because your account is pulled up, what you don't want to happen is them keying in information on your account to negatively impact it because you was nice to them and sat on the phone and just, oh yeah, sure, that sounds interesting. Oh wow, yeah, that sounds really good. First of all, they're going to continue to call you. And then secondly, they're going to notate that you have an interest in those products. And so not only are you going to keep getting phone calls, but now you've built the relationship to where they not only want to sell you on that product, but they want to sell you on many other ones. And so, but if you're rude to them, just like they can make it seem like you're interested in buying these products, they can also do things to hurt your DUNS number. So you just don't want to talk to them. So it's really best to just, oh, hello. Oh yeah, okay. When I hear who it is, I just hang up the phone. I've never had an issue because I've always done that. I just always have hung up on them. But yeah, so all right, let's get into it.
Well, maybe this is a dumb question, but
Not,
what exactly is a DUNS number, and why do we need it?
See, thank you for asking that. Thank you so much, because I just assume stuff sometimes. And I'm trying to be as detailed as possible and as like, you know, because this is stuff I typically just don't think about. So I'm glad that you asked that. So a DUNS number, you remember earlier how I said, I think we looked at Equifax, or it was Experian that it showed you about personal, and then it showed you about business. How I mentioned they hold your business credit too, your information. Your DUNS number is the same way. So just like on a personal side, you have Equifax, TransUnion, and you have Experian. On the business side, you have TransUnion, Equifax, and DUNS number. But when it comes to the DUNS number, most companies use your DUNS number score. So what you'll find out is that if you don't have a DUNS number, then obviously you don't have a DUNS number score. And if you don't have a DUNS number score, it's just like you on a personal side not having a personal credit score. So no one's going to give you credit because you just don't have the information to receive it, right? So the DUNS number is utilized as a means to report your financial responsibility, your financial trustworthiness with your credit. So with this DUNS number, you will be surprised at places that deny you for lending and don't tell you that is because you don't have a DUNS number. So I always just recommend people get it. It's free to get, so just why not get it, right?
What are the requirements?
Look, we're gonna go through it. I'm gonna go through it right now. I was just about to say, with your DUNS number, I'm tripping. They about to get me for $200-something. With your DUNS number, you need to have your LLC first, because you're going to see where they need that LLC in the information to be able to pull it up, and that's how they tie your number to your DUNS number to your LLC. So, and one thing you guys will learn, if you don't already know, most of the stuff when it comes to business is public knowledge. Look at this. What did it say? View another company's credit. That means that if you want to, you can go and look at my business credit. It's not private. You can easily look it up. But Dunn's number, Dunn and Bradstreet is a lot like Nav, where they house good information for your business. So now if you look, I'll drop this in the chat for you guys, because if you just go to duns.com, it's possible to get lost. So let me drop this for you guys. Oh, hey, Angie Earl. I just saw you said very. I have a question. Anik. How do you pronounce it?
Anik?
Anik. That's what I thought. So Anika. Is that Anika?
Most people call me Anika. I'm from Trinidad, well, the Caribbean mainly, so they say Anika.
How do you say it? How do you like it being said?
It doesn't matter to me. Some say Anika.
Anika.
And yeah, some people say Anika, so it doesn't really matter.
I love your
To be
accent. I wish I had an accent.
Thank you.
I guess I do have an accent, right?
No.
Ethan, look, Ethan's like, yeah, you got an accent, man. Ethan, I like your accent too, man.
We're all from somewhere.
We're all from somewhere, brother. That's a fact. All right. So well, let me ask you this. I'm sorry, man. I've been wondering. Ethan, what time is it in you said where are you at right now again? I'm sorry.
I'm in Israel. It's 8:30 now.
8:30 p.m.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So let me get back to it. Sorry. Ooh, what did I do? What is this? Hold on. Is that better, y'all? Can y'all see it?
I
Yeah.
can see it.
Okay, awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. All right. So I didn't even drop it in the chat, did I? I am tripping. I tell you what I'll do. I'll email it. I'll try to drop it in the chat at the end, but if I don't, I will email it. Hey Siri, remind me to email the correct link for D and B to the masterclass participants. All right, y'all. I don't know if y'all can see it, but she said she was going to do it. All right. So this is important because, again, this is really where you want to come to, because if you don't, when you just search it, what's going to happen is you're going to go to that front screen, and it can be a little tricky to find this screen. So that's why I just don't want you guys to have to worry about being thrown off. But I'm going to go back to it again to kind of show you guys just real quick, just in case something does happen. Well, it's not taking me back there. But anyway, you want to go up here where it says Dunn's number. Right. So go to Dunn, where it says Dunn's number. And then you can click here where it says get a Dunn's number. Okay. So, all right. So now that we have the correct location for the Duns, this will tell you all the steps necessary to actually get the Dunn's number. All right. So like Ethan, like, even though you're in Israel, like, you still would just pick, I have a US based business. So let's do this. I'm just try to show you guys this process. Oh, hold on. I don't even remember my address to my other business. Hold on one second. I have too many businesses, honestly. Which is, it could be a bad thing because I put the wrong address for a business on an application, and it didn't come out favorable for me. Okay. Here we go. All right. So this is, I want to show you guys why you need to do your LLC first. What business is this? All right. This is another one of my businesses. Well, so it says, congrats, your business already has a DUNS number. Okay. So I have one for that one already. I thought I already had an account for that. I'm gonna try to find one of mine that don't have a DUNS already. Actually, I know one that I need to get one for. And I purposely waited so that I could do this with you guys, but I had forgot. Okay, so 30339.
Josh, do you need an EIN for that?
No, you don't. For the DUNS?
Would you mind doing it for me? Because I definitely don't have a DUNS number.
Absolutely. What's the business zip code?
Just a second. Zip code is 82801.
Okay. What's the business name?
It's HOOPOE.
Is you? Yep.
Hoopo, yes. A new word, real. No.
That's not yours.
Go
That's
back.
not yours.
No,
Okay.
it's
My bad.
82801.
HOO
82801.
82801.
Yeah.
My bad.
And the business name is Hoopo, HOOPOE. New word or like a blank, real.
You said real?
Yes, real, like in real estate. Blank estate. LLC.
All right, and that zip code is correct, right?
Yeah, it's definitely correct. So they don't find me? Okay. That's weird. But they would have all the registered companies in the US?
Yeah, they should, but no, it happens. It's happened to me multiple times.
Okay.
Yeah, I ain't gonna, because they're gonna want some personal information. So let's do this.
Okay.
Hold on. You needed a what we can do if you're cool with me doing it. Oh, you already have your EIN. You don't have an EIN, right?
Not yet, I'm waiting.
Okay, all right. Yeah, so we can go to that next. Let me. See, make sure I do this right. 30339. Yep. Oh. Yeah, see, like Okay, okay. Let me try one more. Three zero. I gotta find these addresses, these zip codes, y'all. I'm sorry. QUAD. Three zero 0. 39. All right, let me come out of that one. Let's do the EIN. So let me show you guys. So this, first of all, the EIN, this is the correct site. The reason why that's important is because just like the Dunn and Bradstreet number, which are Dunn's number, let me show you something. All right, so, and I don't know if it just pulled up because I've been on this site so many times, but normally when you type in the EIN, maybe it pulls up first, but I don't recall it. But anyway, there's different, oh, see, EIN number, if that's what it does. That's crazy. Literally everything showing up right now is the right one. But what happens a lot of times is that you'll have people that they're not the IRS, but they're saying that they'll show your EIN, they'll show you, like, they're basically soliciting you for to do your EIN number for you. The reason why
to sell you that.
Exactly. That's exactly what they're doing. And that's what I was gonna say. It's a problem because it's free. Like, you shouldn't have to pay for someone to do a free thing for you that you can do yourself. But yeah, a lot of times they'll pull up first. So I don't know why, but for some reason it's all pulling up like it's supposed to this time, which is good. All right, but basically this is a screen that you guys want, and I'll send this to you guys as well. But if you want to read it, you can kind of come out later and read it. But you click here, and down here it'll say begin application. I don't know if y'all see it. So the thing about this is it's going to give you about 15 minutes. Okay, so most of the LLCs, the EIN numbers, done all that stuff, I normally do it on my cell phone. Now, we know what happens when we're on a cell phone. Sometimes people call us, sometimes, phone might die. Like, I get distracted. I go on social media and forget all about what I'm doing in the first place. So I'm telling you that because it's so aggravating to be at the end of this application and then it time out. And if you do it outside of the hours they allow, you can't even, well, they won't even let you do it outside of the hours they allow. I think it ends at like either 8 p.m. or 11 p.m. or something like that. But if you're doing that, they'll just make you wait until the next business day. So if it's a Friday, it's a wrap. You got to wait until Monday. So, but yes, we go here. Begin application. Now, I know I didn't go step by step inside of the LLC process because a lot of you guys already have them. But if anyone want me to do that, then shoot me an email or comment in the comment section and say, walk me through LLC or something like that. So that way you and I can probably get together earlier tomorrow. And then we can actually go through that process. Because I want to make sure all of you guys are straight. So I don't want to breeze through it if somebody really needed that. Okay. But I'm going to go through this process because I know that it's needed. All right. So if you recall earlier, the information I was showing you guys on the slide, it broke down all of this right here. It broke all of it down. So this is so important, y'all, because I think it was Anik who was a sole proprietor. Most people choose this because it's first and it makes sense for most people when you read it. It includes individuals who are in business for themselves and household employers. Now, this is the EIN, it's not the LLC, but what I want you guys to understand too is that just because you registered one way on your LLC does not mean you have to necessarily register the same way on your EIN. Now, I recommend you get an LLC, and with your LLC, you want to be taxed as an S Corp. So I can kind of show you that process, but basically on here, what I recommend everyone do is you come and you go to limited liability company, LLC. And it just kind of gives you the information about it. And if you see right here, it says all the things that it is, but down here it says what it is not. LLCs are not incorporated and do not file articles of incorporation. Now, if your LLC is going to be taxed as an S Corp, that's when you file articles of incorporation, because now you're actually incorporated. So let's go on. Click continue. How many members are in the LLC? Ethan, I was gonna do this for you, but it's gonna ask for some money. And I'm trying to think. So I can do this. No. This is free. It's not gonna. This is free. This is free. Let's just go through it. How many people in your LLC? How many members you have?
2.
2. Please select the state territory. And where is it at again?
Wyoming.
Wyoming. Okay. And you like it's just you in the business, right?
It's me and a partner, basically.
You said in a partner?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Actually, it's fine. I can still walk you through it. How old is it like a newer business?
2 or 3 weeks.
Okay, I just started a business.
And it's for banking purposes.
You want to put banking purposes?
Yeah, because basically that's what I need the EIN for, because without an EIN, you can't have a business bank account as far as I know.
That's true. You need it for that, but you don't necessarily have to select banking purposes.
Okay.
And and here's the reason why I just default to start new business. So and maybe it could have been because I was on my phone, like I was saying a minute ago, but I was doing a LLC, and it's the one where I showed you guys where it was from like 3 or 4 years ago, like maybe actually it was like maybe 5 years ago. But I was doing the EIN for that, and when I selected for banking purposes or bank account, literally every single time that I selected it kicked it out. Every single time. So I ended up just doing it as a new business, which is normally what I do, because whenever I start a LLC, I also just start the EIN, and it instantly just went through. So,
okay, great.
But we can see, because if it'll deny it instantly if it denies it. So
just before we go any further, I mean, I see it's asking for SSN ITIN, the tax identification number. I don't have either.
So this is what you're right. I forgot about this. So this is what you have to do. You with yours, you have to actually mail it in.
Okay.
That's the hack.
Okay.
Because even like Americans will, like I've just always done mine this way, but I've helped people actually go through the process of having to mail it in.
No.
And the thing is that when you mail it, you won't have to actually go through the process of putting your social in. So like a lot of people do that because they don't want anything tied to their social security number.
Okay, understood.
So
Josh,
Yes, ma'am.
um, Ethan and I are in the same predicament, basically. My company is registered in the US with the same company that Ethan is using.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
But what I did, I had to pay an additional $175 to the same company, and they filed the EIN number for me, the EIN form, sorry, for me. But they had to do it like foreign because I don't have a social.
Right.
So I think you have to do it like as a foreign citizen or like from a foreign country, or I'm not sure what the legality is, but they filed it for me on my behalf. Um, yeah, but I had to pay an additional $175.
So, the thing about that, and maybe I don't know how different it is, but I have there's a guy that works for me who he's from Mexico. But I'm trying to think about his status. He may be like he's not a citizen, but we didn't have any problem sending his in. Let me see something real quick. No social. Can you guys see this?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just trying to get the form. Internet. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. All right, so if you could fax it, but you could also send it by mail, and that's what I'm more familiar with. But sending it by mail, I just want to look over it because, like I said, I've done it for someone who isn't a citizen, but I don't know if his situation is different. So we can just take a few minutes if y'all are cool with that, just to kind of look over it. Yeah, so it is 11 p.m. Yeah, that's by telephone, but by mail. Yeah, it's 4 weeks. Yeah, ensure that the form contains all the required information. It is determined needs a new IN. Be assigned using the appropriate procedure for the entity type and mail to taxpayer. Let's see some of this stuff down here too. To be completed at the bottom of the form. Third party designee signature section must be complete at the bottom of the form SS4. Must also be signed by the taxpayer for the third party designee. Authorized to be valid, the form must be mailed to fax to appropriate service center. It stands to newly assigned aliens only and terminates at the time of the Amazon. Okay. Hold on. All right, my bad, y'all. I was just getting that form. Is the screen, are you guys able to see again on the?
Yeah, we
Yes.
can see it.
Okay, all right. Yeah. No, yes, I just no form. There we go. That's what I was looking for. And so even that's, you can even apply with an address outside of the US. And what, to your point, it's probably less of a headache to have, the company do it. But I honestly, aside from just what it costs to mail, I don't think you have to pay anything for it at all. At least I don't recall ever paying for, or Oscar, I don't recall him ever having to pay for his service. So Ethan, I put it in the chat. But yeah,
Thanks a lot.
yeah, absolutely, man. And
Let's move on. I'll figure it out myself. So
okay. And I email myself that other thing so I can send it to you.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
One question, going back to the Dunn and Bradstreet number. I went through the registration process and basically they asked for a phone number. That would be the business phone number that I would fill in there and not my private phone number, correct?
Yeah, well, with them, it doesn't necessarily matter. You could put your either one. But yeah, I would probably just give them my business number, but with Dunn and Bradstreet, it doesn't matter.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Were you able to pull this part of it up, you saying, or something different?
Now, basically what it says, you entered now our job squad. And if you go down a little bit, it says you didn't find your business. And then you just click you didn't find your business. And then they're trying to re-engage you to buy the stupid stuff like the $399 packages. And then you just insist on getting the free Dun Bradstreet number and choose that. And then you walk through the process and that's it.
Okay, yeah, because I know initially, like when we went to Nav, like all my DUNS number was actually there, but initially when I went here, I could never find it. And see, with this, I just don't know if I'm putting the wrong zip code in because I have a couple of different virtual addresses. So, but you got that
I figured it out, yeah.
Okay, good deal. All right, so DUNS number, EIN, LLC. Okay, so I guess another part of that too is when it comes to your business, it has to be findable in order to be fundable. Well, first, do anyone have any questions about like what we've done so far as the LLC, the EIN, Dunn and Bradstreet? All right. All right. So Google domains, one of the reasons that I come here is because I want to get a domain for my business, but not just to get a domain, you also want to get a branded email, right? And the reason is because if you have your business and it's just at Gmail or whatever type of service provider that you use, you just look less credible. So some people use GoDaddy. I just like to use Gmail. And well, let me ask this question so I don't waste time on this. Is this needed for anybody? Does anyone need this process? Do you already have like a branded business email address, or is this something that you need for your
Yes,
business?
I do.
Okay, good.
Meaning, yes, I do. I have it. So.
Oh, you have it. Oh, I thought you said you need it. All right, no problem.
Well, I need it.
You need it. Okay, good. All right, so basically when you go to their website, this is how it's going to look. Hold on, I got so many domains. So it'll look like this essentially. And you know, do you want to share your business name? I can see if it's available. If not, I can just look up another, or just I can buy one of the ones I have saved already. Whoever said they needed the,
Done. You needed it.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
did you want me to try to see if yours is available? Or
Oh, I don't have anything.
oh, okay, okay. Yeah, no, it's all good. I have some that I need to buy anyway, so I can just walk you through the process so that way you can actually see
Okay.
yeah, see how it is. So these are all the ones I've already purchased. Why is it like this? It's mad weird. Okay. Hmm. There you go. I'll just get one. So again, with the point, I guess, or the purpose of this is it's just one of those things that if you don't have one, then it just doesn't really help your situation as far as when it comes to lenders. Hmm. All right. So I found it. And then if you notice here, it'll have like .coms, .net, .org, .info. There's a lot of different endings that are here. I personally just like .coms. M. Joshua. And so the part that I really wanted to show was here. So if you just buy it right now at the $12, it's going to be $12 per year, I believe. Yeah, $12 a year. But what you want to do is you want to go here in Google Workspace, and you want to actually go to business.
I didn't understand.
Oh, my bad. You want to go to the workspace here and go to business starter. And then what you do right here is you pretty much just, and the reason why I say business starter is because if you go to anything else, it's more expensive. You don't really need it. I always recommend doing business starter, and you can put in your name and whatever your username is going to be. So I always recommend doing contact. So like it'll be contact at M. Joshua Earl, like how it says contact at CEO Josh Earl. And I recommend that because it's versatile. So and then you just go through and you just check out. It's as simple as that. But once you check out, then it brings you to a place to where you can either get like buy a website or just go ahead and end with your purchase. And depending on what your goals are, you need a website for your business because again, you have to be findable in order to be fundable. So if a creditor is looking for you online and you don't have a website or at least a social media presence, then that's also something that's going to hurt you. So, I mean, unless you're going to get one done, don't buy it. But you can get one on Fiverr pretty cheap, a website. All right. So as far as another thing when it comes to your business being findable. there's a site right here called listyourself.net. Listyourself.net, what it does is it allows you the opportunity to get exposure online by being able to pop up in relevant places. So like 411, for example. So if you see here, it should say it up here somewhere to help you. List Yourself is designed to help you or your business get your phone number listed in 411. So for millions of people picking up a phone. Yeah, so 411 is one of the places that they look to see if your phone number is registered, because it's a way for you to find customers. And if your phone number is not registered, then it just looks like you're not trying to find customers. Another thing, so when you fill this out, which I won't go through that whole process, but you want to make sure that it's for your business, not for yourself. And you just want to go in and just type all your information in and add listing. So other places that you guys want to also make sure you put yourself at is, this will put you in more than just 411. But like I was at earlier at Google. So going to Google is a good place for you to go and actually list yourself at. Google Business. So going here. And again, I can send all this stuff to you guys in case any of you need it. And basically you just go to this site, list your business as well, because obviously everyone uses Google. So from my experiences, if you have a social media page, but don't have like a Google account for your business, then it just, like I've seen situations where I've been able to get funding for having a Google spot, but not really even listed on social media and not having a website. So I don't know if it's because Google is such a prominent website, but if you're going to do anything, I would at least make sure that I go to the first one I showed you and also go to build your Google business profile. The other one is, what is it called? The other one is Nextdoor. And on Nextdoor, you're actually able to go and list your business. And guys, this may not seem like a big deal. It may seem trivial. It may seem like it doesn't matter. But in actuality, like if these people can't find you, essentially they're going to feel as though you're just somebody else trying to take money, because you got to realize, like I mentioned to you earlier, your personal credit is not really impacted by your business credit, even when you default on a loan, unless you personally guaranteed it. So like I mentioned to you about myself, I had a business that I did terrible with. And, you know, fortunately, when I got the stuff in business credit, the business credit did not hurt me when I lost money or when I wasn't able to pay it back. The personal credit is what hurt me because I didn't know initially. So because initially I didn't know, I was doing things the wrong way. So that's why these companies, they know that people will actually go and get money from them with no intention on paying it back. I had every intention on paying it, but I just couldn't. I just wasn't in a position to do so. So they want to see that you're actually actively trying to find clients or find customers. That's why listing yourself in as many places as possible is so crucial to you getting approved for like this funding. Imagine somebody come to you and say, hey, let me get some money, but you can't see any proof of them trying to find ways to pay you that money back. Like you're not going to want to give them any money. So it's the same with these lenders as well. So this is another one, Nextdoor. So I mentioned Google. I mentioned List Yourself. I mentioned Nextdoor. And there's also, what's the name of that company? There's a, it's not Reddit. Yelp. There we go, right in my face. Yelp. But Yelp is not just a regular Yelp, it's Yelp for Business. And you go here and you add a business to Yelp. I will give you guys a heads up. When you add your business to Yelp, you will get so many phone calls. It's the same with Google, but you'll get a lot of phone calls from people soliciting you to try and like get you to rank higher on Google. you'll get aggravated with it. It's disgusting how much they call your phone. They call me so many times, and I learned a lesson from that, because what I did was I stopped giving out I was giving my personal phone number back then too, but I stopped doing that because, again, they just call you so much.
So would you recommend it or not?
Yeah, I mean, I recommend using it, but it's just one of those things where you just got to know that
That you're going to be at the verge of committing suicide at some point?
yeah, yeah, dude, I'm telling you, it got so bad that I really just want to like fuss these people out, but I try not to be that kind of person. So I just started talking to the guy about God, and I just made him as uncomfortable as I possibly could. But they'll get up. But here's what happens: they'll hang up the phone and they won't ever call you again. But now you got 100 other ones that are still calling you, and they're talking about ranking your business on Google. So just something that you can watch out for. All right. So, you guys have any questions up until this point? Let's see something. So some of the places that I'm gonna show you guys as far as when it comes to credit, that is not net 30s like I mentioned earlier. I know I showed you guys NAV, but there's a few different places that you can also go to and do things like get your business phone number and like a few other things as well. That is actually good for helping you build business credit. So let me pull something up. Or actually, before I go to that, let me hold on. All right, so this is one of them. You guys want to write that down. Kovo.
But that's personal or business credit?
So Kovo, I know they have personal and they do business as well.
Because I think I've been on that page like today or yesterday, and it seems like they only do personal.
Hold on one second.
And I think they also ask you for the SSN, if I'm not mistaken.
Actually, yeah, no, Kovo is one that is that's a personal hold on. It is a personal, it's a credit builder is what it is, but it is for personal. Sorry. Business. Because see, one of the things that we do, and I know this is a little bit different for you, but with in order to get to the place to where you get like the larger loan, like larger limits, for example, like with Truist, one of the banks I mentioned earlier, in order to get like with Truist and get like a large limit, you're gonna have to use like be a personal guarantor, meaning that they're gonna want you to personally guarantee that you're able to pay that loan back. And the way that they do that is they make sure that you have good credit to be able to pay it back. So they actually utilize your social. So one of the strategies that we use is actually build up personal credit, because that's the way that we get the higher loans for business credit. But yeah, that is definitely a personal credit spot.
Understood, but it doesn't apply to me and also not to Anika because we won't ever have the chance to have a SSN.
Correct.
As such, we're out of the game for that.
Yeah, unfortunately. Let me see. I'm trying to, because I had a list of ones that are like I wanted to go over with you guys, so I didn't forget about them.
But I found a company that basically does exactly the same like Kovo, just for business. And is, just a second. Credit Strong. You go to Credit Strong.
I promise you, that was literally the one that I was in the process of typing up. Yeah, and there's another one too, Ava. But let's see.
AVA.
Yep.
And this is net 30
So
vendors? No, what are we
Ba-
doing now? I'm
bas-
sorry. I
Basic,
got distracted.
basically what it is, it's sort of a simulation of a loan. It's a savings account that builds credit score, which means, for
Oh,
example,
okay.
you have the chance to choose a certain amount, let's say $2,500, and it's a time frame of 24, 25 months or so. And during these 25 months, you have to pay $100 each month into a specific account, and they basically report it to the credit bureaus as a loan that you took out and you paid back, so to say. At
Yep.
the end of this period, you have $2,500 for your free disposal, and you can do with it whatever you want. But by paying like 25 increments or installments of $100, you build credit for your business.
Okay. So it's
I'm gonna go back to it as well. Meet Ava.
okay.
Now, what were you about to say something? What was it?
Yeah. So never mind.
No. Ask
I,
it. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I don't know. I got I got lost.
No. See, no, I want you to get lost. It's okay. Just ask it.
So they're giving you the money and then you pay them in smaller increments. Is that what I
No,
was hearing?
no.
No?
You pay $100 each month for 25 months. It's sort of a savings account that this money goes into, but they report it to the credit bureaus as a loan that you took out. But basically, at
Oh,
the end,
okay.
it's the other way around. Basically, you're
Okay,
giving
okay.
them a credit, you could say, like you pay them money, they bunker it for you in a savings account, and they report it to the credit bureaus as a loan that you took out and paid back.
Okay. Is there a name for this process?
Uh, Josh?
No.
Yeah. So, no, you did a great job of explaining that. It was actually really good. I can tell you have been looking into it. So, it's almost like a pledge loan. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if you ever heard of a pledge loan before, but it's almost like that. But there's a lot of companies that like. There's a company called My Jewelry Club, I believe it is, where I think if you pay like $100, they report like a $5,000 credit limit or something like that. So it's like,
Okay.
yeah, a lot of companies they'll do that. They do that, but they're basically selling you a trade line, honestly.
Okay.
So and the benefit of that is so with net 30, a lot of net 30 accounts, you're not necessarily getting like high limit trade lines reporting,
Okay.
but you are getting trade lines reporting, right? And so what that means is that if I'm trying to get a higher limit, like one day the bank told me I tried to get a $20,000 credit card from on my personal side from a bank in North Carolina, and I thought they weren't going to give it to me. But he said, "Well, yeah, we'll give it to you because we see that you got it already from Navy Federal Credit Union." So the fact that I had already been trusted by Navy Federal Credit Union with that type of a loan made it easier for other banks to trust me. So when you talk about getting higher limits without using your credit, it's a benefit to paying, $100 and it's saying that you're paying $5,000 because that allows other companies to feel comfortable giving you that type of credit limit, if that makes sense. Whereas with the net 30 accounts, at least if I come to you and buy toilet tissue and cleaning supplies, for $100, at least I'm getting something for my $100.
Okay.
But I'm not getting the higher limits that are reporting. So it's almost like,
Makes sense.
there's like levels to it, and so
Okay.
somebody else is about to say something.
I was wondering if we could cut it now. We've been sitting here for 3 hours, 15 minutes. Any input on that?
Say that one more time. You fed it out. I'm sorry.
I said we've been sitting here for 3 hours, 15 minutes. Could we call it a day today and continue tomorrow?
Well,
Oh,
yeah,
it's recorded anyways, right? It's recorded.
right. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. So we're definitely going to continue tomorrow anyway. I just want to make sure that everyone is good. You guys don't have any other questions, comments, concerns? Anybody?
No, you did a very good job.
I appreciate you. I
Thank you.
appreciate you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Josh.
Yeah, thank you guys. And so, again, if you guys have any questions, if it's something that you won't cover that I didn't cover, just reply to the email, send me an email, and I'll be happy to go over that for you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, no
Thanks a
problem.
lot. See you
Thank you guys.
tomorrow.
I'll see you guys again tomorrow morning.
Bye-bye.
All right, see you guys. Thank y'all.